Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Look at us. Here we are. 20 episodes, y'all. Can you believe it? 20 whole freaking episodes.
And if you can believe it,
yeah, and
it's not Friday.
No, it sure shit is not. Yeah,
Tuesday again.
Yeah.
It's a Tuesday once again.
But it won't be Tuesday when you listen to this, so I
No.
don't know why we're bringing this up.
Yeah, really. I guess
David Lynch invaded my brain. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Fair
thank
enough.
goodness.
Unless you're late to listening to the episode and it happens to be a Tuesday.
In
In
which
which case,
case,
hello,
happy
welcome to
Tuesday. Yeah.
Tuesday. Happy Tuesday.
I bet you were
Okay.
really spooked that we called
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, I'm watching over your shoulder, and I looked at the date in the corner of your monitor,
It's
and I-
yes.
and I cross-referenced that with the calendar app in my phone so that I could tell what day of the week it is.
And I gotta ask, what kind of sites you looking at, Devin?
I see you.
Oh, we're so menacing.
r/big old butts. I've been there once or twice myself, Devin. I know what you like.
Oh, Lord.
Stole my fucking socks. Where the fuck are my socks, Devin?
Now that we've absolutely destroyed the energy
Yeah.
for the episode, as well we should.
It's only gonna get
We tend
worse.
Yeah, really.
It's because these episodes were kind of weird and weak.
Yeah.
For full disclosure, we are recording not only on an off day, but a little later than usual.
A little?
So
A
who knows
lot
what
later
will happen
than
today.
usual.
Quite a bit later than usual, I'll confess.
It's gonna go batshit. I might call into
It's
work
been-
tomorrow.
Wait, that was the wrong.
It's been.
One reason you looked at me. Why
It's-
won't you look at me?
Because you don't come to visit your godson, B.
I miss him so much.
Come visit.
I've been so busy.
You
I'm
literally
sorry.
have my address.
I know, I've just been busy.
Anyway. Episode 20.
Driving
It's
the
episode
podcast.
20.
Happy episode 20. Thank you
Yeah,
for sticking with
Yeah.
us for 20 episodes. And
Yeah.
what does that mean? Like 60 plus hours of content?
Probably. I mean,
Jesus.
what, minimum about 3 hours per episode? Except
Yeah,
for
that's
that
not
one
counting our
episode that
early-
was 2 hours and that other episode that was 4 hours, which kind of balances that
yeah,
shit
it
out.
averages.
Our early
Yeah.
episodes.
Oh, God.
Yeah, just a lot of content. Thank you for hanging out with us for so long. It's been a wild ride. Hopefully you've been enjoying it. I've only ever really heard good things about the podcast, which is nice.
If you have things to say, tell me.
Yeah,
please.
legitimately, if you have bad things to say about the podcast that are constructive,
Oh. No.
tell us.
If you just hate me, you can tell me. That's
Yeah, if
fine.
you're just like, damn, I fucking hate fats, like, hey, fucking good job, dog, same. Doesn't
Oh.
No,
really
you can't
change
say
anything.
that. That's illegal.
Yeah.
Oh,
Part of me is
apparently it's illegal.
curious.
To...
Who
Yeah,
hates
would
me?
like to.
There's
yeah.
gotta be somebody.
There's got to
Who
be
hates me
at
enough
least
to
one
DM
person.
me about it? I will send you a Ko-fi.
Send you a Ko-fi if you
What?
DM me about how much you hate me.
I will send a Ko-fi to the first person
On it.
who DMs me about how much they hate me. It can't be any of you.
On it.
right
No,
now,
I'm
right
doing
Fuck
it right
you.
now. I'm already typing.
Yeah, I knew it, Shakes. No.
I'm
was-
funny.
You know what? This is fine. I already got mine in today when I added B about fucking None
Oh,
Pizza
yeah.
Left Beef's birthday. By the way, just again,
Stay
fuck
mad.
you about that, B Drops.
Stay mad.
That was the worst. You're such a piece of shit.
So happy to have fed that dog. You can be angry about
I'm
it.
glad you fed the dog. I'm angry about everything else.
Yeah, see,
Your anger heats my house.
Good.
I'm more angry about
Fucking burn.
the what was it, Big Smoke's order that you said you
Oh,
pulled?
yeah, that's fair.
What is that?
Yeah.
We're not even talking about Kamen Rider. Happy 20th episode.
Yeah, happy
everybody.
20th. We're not talking about.
Yeah, because we didn't get good enough episodes.
Yeah, really.
It's a pretty weak bunch for the 20th. Sorry, folks.
Unfortunately, yeah. It's just how it stacks out sometimes. I mean, I don't know. I feel like the Big Smokes order thing wasn't too bad. It's just like a lot of food.
Yeah, that's the point.
What? What is it?
fair.
Number 5.
Yeah,
Number
it's what,
6
two
with
number
extra
fives, a number 6 with extra dip. No, it's two number 5s, a number 6 with extra dip, two number 45s, one with cheese, and a large soda.
40? What's a 45?
I had to make that one up because I don't have a number 45 labeled on the McDonald's menu, but they've got everything else. And I was like, hey, I could do funny meme here.
Okay.
Oh, so you just ordered? You actually just ordered it? Okay.
Yeah, I just
Jeez,
actually
I
ordered
thought-
a bunch of food that was actually on the McDonald's menu.
Does 6 on the McDonald's menu come with dip?
Yep, it's the McNuggets.
Damn, that's really
It's like
that's really
yeah, it's
fucking
like the
lucky.
6 pieces of McNuggets or something. That's the whole reason I thought of it. I was like, hey, wait a minute.
Hey.
I could actually do it.
This is Rockstar we're talking about. They probably just actually Googled it beforehand.
Those menus shift all the time.
Yeah.
That game was made 20 years ago.
I guess,
More than
yeah,
that.
makes...
And this
Yes.
wasn't recent. This was like 3 or 4 years ago itself. So,
Yeah, that
I
was
guess it
not
still checks
adjusted for modern McDonald's menus.
nope.
I don't know. I don't go to McDonald's. I don't know if they keep their menu.
That game was set
same.
in the 90s.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's true.
well there you go. I've never played it. I don't know.
Set in the 90s, and that fucking order takes place at a fake restaurant.
Oh, never mind.
Hence the 2 number 45s.
Speaking of taking place at fake restaurants.
Yeah,
No.
how about this podcast?
Taking place at fake restaurants couldn't be this. Snackamizo's closed down.
Oh,
Nobody's
rip
worked there
Snack
for
What a
Amigo.
shame.
50 years.
Anyway, we haven't actually done the intro yet, so let's do
Oh
that.
god.
Hi, everybody. Do you know who we are yet?
I'm sure you do, but I still want to
It's
do
been
the
20 of
episode so
these.
that way this, podcast has some semblance of structure. So anyway,
We need to keep it, absolutely.
yeah, it's episode 20 of Long Time Watcher, First Time Writer. Thank you for joining us for 20 whole episodes. If you have actually joined us for 20 whole episodes, which thank you. It's cool that you're here. As always, I am your longtime watcher, King Fats 95.
95.
95.
95.
Yeah. And I am joined as always by my wonderful, wonderful first time writers, Action Shakespeare,
Hello.
B Drops,
Hello.
and the Magical Whale Gopher.
Hey.
Hey.
I'm
Hey,
just so
oh,
close.
hey, I'm fucking podcasting over here. Bada bing!
So close to order.
We are going to be covering Kamen Rider episodes 44 and 45 on today's episode. That is the Graveyard Monster Bazinga and Monster...
Shut up.
I will never stop. I will never stop.
I hate this podcast.
My notes are even labeled Bazinga. Because I'm a bad man.
See, I said Pingas when we were first making these jokes when we watched it, but that's just the generational gap talking.
Yeah, that's fair. I cottoned to Pingus, but I am not quite as close to it.
That shit would have killed No 8.
Yeah, you're telling me. Fucking Pingus. And the monster Namikajiro's Operation Gas Explosion. Apparently that's the name of that episode. Does that match with...
Yeah, I remember that.
Alright, cool.
Gatsubakahatsu.
Yeah, Bakatsu. But before we go ahead and cover what are some subpar episodes, if we're just going to be honest, we're going to cover one thing that's never subpar, and that's the death count with B-Drops.
Well, I'm
Don't do
sorry.
me like this.
What- I'm sorry, but I mean, the truth is, the last 2 episodes didn't really have a lot going on. I know I've said several times that there's a very, relatively consistent ebb and flow
Mhm.
of just floodgate, The Shining, blood everywhere, and then just a little trickle after that until we get the next,
A few blood
monsoon coming in.
droplets.
So unfortunately, we are currently in a bit of a dry spell with our last 2 episodes. If I just run through these numbers very
Numbers.
quickly. For episode 42, we had 2 kills for
Fucking
Hayato.
stupid, you're all idiots. I'm sorry, continue me.
We have to talk about Kamen Rider
I'm
for at
sorry.
least 2 minutes straight. I'm begging you.
I'm sorry. It's just I love my friends very much.
Okay, we have 2 kills for Hayato for episode 42. We have 1 shocker kill, and that gives us a total of 3 kills for episode 42. That's
That's
it.
it?
That's all we got.
Ugh.
Episode 43. We have 1 kill for Hayato.
Okay.
That's it.
What?
That's it.
It was just the big bad?
We only
It
did
was
one
just
murder?
the big bad. It was just the big bad for episode 43. So we have 4 kills total for both episodes. That gives 3 more kills to Hayato, so he's now at 201 out of 273 kills for Team Kamen Rider. Shocker has gone up to 121 with the 1 kill they got.
21?
Ding.
So now, there is some good news, though. There is some good news.
Yeah.
That brings us now to a grand total of 420 kills.
Yes!
Nice!
Nice!
That's worth it.
Fuck yeah, 420 on the 20th episode. Let's go, baby.
Finally,
Delightful.
the stars align.
Finally.
That was very pleasing to me.
Kamen
So
Rider
maybe
with
it
the
all
big
was
blood.
for a purpose.
Yeah. Kamen Rider
Doing
smoking
the-
the fat darts.
doing the little pose.
Yeah.
Timely meme references.
Yeah.
I hope you aren't like binging this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope you aren't binging this podcast 6 years later. Otherwise, you're gonna have no idea what the fuck we're talking about.
You'll just feel like Gopher and I do when you two start talking about wrestling stuff.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I
So,
saw
you know,
a
like
man with
how
face
they've
paint
already
on him.
felt for...
And,
Yeah.
and he was in the WWE, and I'm like, yep, that's someone that I could know. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could, but I'm not
Yeah,
gonna.
I could. I'm not gonna learn.
I only know Jimmy Johns and Steiner Math.
That's all you really need to know. Other than that, there's not much worth... Well, I'm not gonna actually finish that sentence. There's a lot of wrestling worth watching. You need to watch wrestling with us, B.
You gotta watch them.
There's not a lot of
I would love to watch more.
AEW.
Gotta show up when we're watching Tokyo Joshi in the Hive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You missed
That'd
a
be
good
fun.
ass Maki Ito match.
I've been so busy.
Well,
Hi everybody, we're talking about my Discord server.
Hi.
yeah. If you're not a part of that, you should be. On account of it's kind of like the unofficial server for the podcast because we just don't have our own.
If you want to find it, you know, in our promo, we always mention my Twitter. So you go to the pinned tweets, you'll find a link to the server there.
Is
We
it
got
the
a chat room for Kamen Rider.
Yeah.
It's in the thread.
Neat. There you go. Go join B-Drops' server, and then you can hang out with all of us and understand that we're just as annoying in real life as we are on this podcast.
Maybe more.
Yeah, maybe even more.
Imagine.
Imagine.
You have not seen the links at which I... No, anyway.
But Grimsby 8 legs.
I won't finish that, but I hate it.
What?
Oh.
Let's proceed.
Yes, let's continue. Let's dive right into it with episode 44, and that is Graveyard Monster Kabinga, or I'm sorry, Kabibinga. Yeah, that's it. It's just Graveyard Monster Kabibinga. This one doesn't have like an operation or anything. It's Kamen Rider episode 44. It originally aired January 29th, 1972. No sun-ups again. So you get homemade. And let's get into it. The episode opens on a group of children playing hide and seek at a temple. A pair of twin girls, Jun and Mako, go hiding in the cemetery against the suggestion of their friends. We see a man praying at a grave when he is attacked by Kabibinga and Shocker. Shocker notices the girls and captures them, but instead of killing them, kidnaps them to be part of their plan. This opening of the episode was probably not important to anyone else, but it was important to me.
Yeah?
Please elaborate.
Yeah. On my very first note of the whole episode just says, Vindication!
Yes.
Because for years, as I have mentioned previously, I was born in Japan. My family lived in Japan because my father used to be active duty in the Air Force. So I was never actually taught rock, paper, scissors. I was taught Janken.
Right.
And I was...
Bone.
Mm-hmm.
I thought.
And I was... Yes, it was that second part that I was taught for whenever there was a tie that always caught the most kind of like weird looks and what are you talking about, your weird shit. my whole life growing up, to the point where I even started to doubt if that was a thing that was ever actually said, because I never saw it. I very rarely ever interacted with anyone who wasn't a part of my immediate family who used it. So I was just, for years, I was in this, like, a little bit of a limbo space where I was like, is that real? Is that something my parents just made up to tell me because I was a little kid? Do they actually say that in Japan? Yes. Yes, they fucking say it. Yes, it's actually real. I fucking, finally, after years.
Is this the first time you've seen this in media?
And yes, I've, here's the thing.
Watch Hunter x Hunter.
I have seen...
It's just like, there's
Yeah,
so
I've
many
never watched
animes
Hunter.
where this
Yeah,
happens.
That's the thing. I've seen so many animes where I've seen people play Junkin all the time. I've never seen there be ties.
That's fair.
So there's never had to be the Aikatosho part because someone just wins. So I was never sure. I never had I never had tangible proof that I could, grab like a crazy person and wave in everyone's faces and be like, see, I told you.
I told you.
Strange.
They
I'm
said
so
the Sam
glad.
Squatch couldn't be real, but I found him.
I'm so glad that you could find meaning in this part of the episode.
Yeah, there's not much else to it really, but there was just that little bit for me of like, holy shit, it's real.
Outside of, I guess, the tiny bit of like graveyard etiquette, like don't
Yeah.
play in the cemetery, children.
Yeah.
It's kind of rude.
Yeah, don't fucking... Yeah,
The kids say in creepy unison.
yeah.
They really did.
They really
Speaking of The
did a lot of
Shining.
fucking mirroring shit in this episode. They were really just like, we want the theme of this episode to be twins. Can you tell?
It was, yeah. I have 3 separate notes about this.
Please,
Because it
go-
happens
go
3
for it.
separate times.
Yeah.
No, I'll just call it out each time. But like,
Yeah, no,
it's
that's
very
fair.
funny.
It is. I wish I could say more about, more to that about the rest of the opening, because there's really not much. It's kind of just... I guess we can talk about Kabubinga, because we see him. We can talk about
Yes,
his outfit and his noise.
Ugh.
So let's talk about Kabubinga's outfit. There was someone who mentioned much later in the episode.
I think it was Shakes.
Yeah.
It was either Shakes or Gopher that mentioned it kind of looked like the costume was maybe supposed to be something else first, and then like the mold grew on it, which
I don't
am
think that's
inclined
the
to agree
genuine
with.
story, but I think that's what they're
Yeah.
trying to convey, sort of. It looks like what they're kind of trying to convey.
It's
I
a
think
pretty
it
solid
works.
look. Yeah, it definitely works from a storytelling perspective. Other than that, though, if we're just being honest, the suit is very bland.
Yeah.
A little
There's
bit.
not a lot going on. It's almost kind of like if a Shocker Mook grew mold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That-
I think that's an interesting take on it,
Mm-hmm.
but I would like to see more done in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like,
If-
if throughout the episode, like, the mold grew continuously, and so, like, by the end of the episode, he's just, like, a completely green mess,
Mm-hmm.
then I think that'd be really, really cool, but as it stands now, it's just kind of like,
Yeah.
it's mostly just a black spandex.
I do like the helmet.
Yeah.
That's fun.
The helmet is a nice little touch. I made a note about the helmet, like, way late into the episode. Yeah, I just put a note that says I'm here to see MF Mold.
I was literally thinking it as I was looking at this. It's rusty ass MF Doom.
Yeah, this is fucking Rusty. This is the corpse of MS Doom back.
Oh,
But
they
in the
covered him in
70s.
mold.
Yeah, they
Man.
covered him in mold.
And time travel.
Fucked up. Can't believe they did my man MF Doom dirty like this. Yeah, I don't know. It's still pretty solid, all things considered. Like, this is not a bad looking suit in any fucking stretch of the imagination, you know? It's just, we've talked so much about how, like, simple is better with a lot of these costumes, and this one kind of takes that a step too
they're
far.
really putting that idea to the test.
Yeah, really. They were like, oh, fucking, these dumbasses from this podcast, like, 50 years later, say simple is better, huh? Oh, we'll show them.
Common
It's like,
minimalism.
all right, we went a little too simple, guys. Put some detailing.
I like him.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the important thing, is I don't dislike this suit in any way, shape, or form. I just, I wholeheartedly agree with what Gopher said. If there could have just been a little more done with it, especially with the idea of, like, this was supposed to be something else, and the mold grew on it, and then they found out the mold had its people-eating abilities, and they were like, all right, fuck it, let's go with that. And having, like, the mold grow across him throughout the episode until, like, at the end of the episode, he's all covered in mold. Especially because, hey, cat's out of the bag, as far as this dude's power. He throws mold at people, and it grows by eating them. Hey, sorry that we ruined that prestige for you.
Nasty ass cotton candy.
Really surprising, I know.
Yeah.
I did not describe him as throwing molds at people so much as flicking it.
Yeah,
at
really.
them.
He just kind
A big old chunks.
No,
Yeah.
It's nasty.
But
also we should describe his laugh.
well, yeah, we should describe his laugh, but I did want to say, because I brought up the power to say, like, if they had gone through with, what Gofford mentioned, and if more of his body got covered with mold as the episode went on, that is a very easy way to make him more of a threat.
Mm-hmm.
Because all of a sudden, that's more of his body that you can't, like, touch, or else he starts eating you,
Yeah,
And
they
then,
make
like,
a point at the pretty early on with Hayato saying, like, oh shit, I shouldn't touch him.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah,
though I'm punching
exactly.
him.
Yeah.
If I touch that, I'm dead.
Like, that is absolutely a plot device that they could have used that I think maybe they just kind of decided to abandon for the sake of, like, make choreography easier. Which I understand, and I do not blame them. But also, look, all I'm saying is modern Kamen Rider would have been ambitious enough to do it.
Probably. Time, budget.
They weren't setting the groundwork.
Yeah.
The foundations.
Yeah. It's, sometimes
and they probably only had 2 hours to shoot in this graveyard.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's that Shakes brings up a good point, and I know we said we were going to talk about the laugh, but just very quickly, I do want to mention the aesthetic for this whole episode is so fucked. Because they are clearly trying to go for some sort of, like, a spooky, Halloween-y kind of yokai sort of thing. We've got this man who's a living mold monster, and he has mold that grows on you, and it eats you, and we've got creepy twins, and our shocker base is in a graveyard, and, like, half the episode is shot in a graveyard at a temple, and, oh, it's spooky, except for the fact that this episode aired in January, and, like, the majority, like, almost all of, no, not even almost, all of the episode takes place during the day, so it's just fucking broad-ass daylight in this goddamn graveyard next to this temple. Like, it's so... I appreciate the effort. If they had actually gotten the ability to film this at night, and maybe had made it be aired a little more appropriately in the time of the year, this probably would have been a super spooky episode. But as is, it's just kind of very silly.
Yeah.
Part of me wondered if maybe they wanted to go a little spookier since our new, like, higher ranking guy is Dr. Death, but it still seems kind of inconsistent.
Mr. Dracula.
Yeah, Steve Williams' whole shit is kind of not tied down yet, besides never lets a plan fail twice, or once.
Yeah,
that's gonna be the theme today, too.
Yeah, spoilers.
Pay attention to how we describe this episode. Then pay attention to how we describe the next episode. See how it lines up.
Similarities.
Remember how we described the last 2 episodes?
Yeah.
It's like that. We have a new plan, but we're gonna see it twice.
Yeah. That being said, let's talk about one of the better things about this episode, which is this dude's laugh. I don't know, this guy makes a good noise. I think
It's fun.
Yeah, our knee jerk, and I know B Drops especially was saying it was like a butthead laugh, like a.
Yeah.
It's a little bit.
It's
like
a little. I can hear it, but I think I can hear more what they are actually going for. I was able to look past the buttheadedness
That's fair.
for a bit, because it's more kind of a rattly, like
Yeah.
death rattle, kind of weird, breathy, rapid laugh.
Yeah,
You know,
almost
it
kind of
fit
like the
the
sound of
themes of
air
what the-
escaping someone.
Yeah, it fit the themes of what the episode wanted to go for. We're able to shoot at night,
Mm-hmm.
like a ghost story.
Yeah, it's yeah. Despite the knee jerk of it sounding like Butthead, which it absolutely does. Off,
Yeah, can't
like,
deny
right
it.
off the hip.
Cannot
But
deny
you know, once you get into the episode proper, it's like, hey, this is actually a good noise. This is appropriately creepy, for what this dude is doing. I think I don't know. It sounds like is there anything else about this guy that we haven't talked about yet?
I
think that's everything. Yeah.
that's just about everything, really.
Pretty
yeah,
much.
There's,
He
again,
doesn't
this
really pull any new tricks from there.
this episode doesn't feed us much. We're working with what we got. Boo boo.
It'll feed you some mold.
It sure as shit will.
No, it'll feed you something else. I won't spoil it, but
True.
Oh yeah.
Yuri. Yeah, Yuri.
Yeah?
Mhm.
It will
in-
feed
in-
us Yuri.
No, because they made her look so much like Mari ever since Mari left, so my brain gets confused.
Nope, that's fair.
yeah.
Yeah,
I-
this
I-
next shot threw me for a loop for
Yeah.
multiple
fucking-
reasons.
Brought it up the first episode that Mari was gone. Like the episode 1 when we found out that Mari was officially gone. I was like, why do they keep making Yuri try to look like Mari? And
It's a little weird.
Yeah,
it just only happens more and more as time has gone on.
it seems like they wanted that aesthetic, so they just repurposed a character to do that. It's odd.
Not like she was doing much
But-
else.
I was gonna say she's got good fashion with the 2-piece suit. Very
She
much
sure
a
does.
fan of it.
It's true.
I want
Yeah.
that fashion.
I don't think we're quite there yet. Yeah, no, we're not.
Oh my god.
Because
Oh,
we're
they
back
kidnapped
at
the girls, right?
yeah, we're back at the shocker base where someone has flicked boogers onto the door.
Ugh.
Oh yeah. These 2 episodes also share maybe the lamest shocker bases.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Yeah.
The second episode is at least a little bit better than the first episode one.
It's funny.
This mural sucks. This is the
How do
first
we
time
artistically depict mold.
yeah, really. I think this is the first time I've ever had anything negative to say about a shocker mural, but this mural fucking sucks. It's so bad. I mean, it's just splotches of green. It's not even a proper mural because it's on the door.
It's rough.
Pathetic.
It's a big old booger.
It really is. They tried. An attempt was made.
Oh, speaking of which, this big old booger is also on the forehead of every grunt in this episode.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. It's not green, but it's there.
It's not green, but it's got the spirit. It
Yeah.
carries the spirit of the booger.
Booger
What a
spirit.
size.
Anyway. Back at the shocker base, Kabubinga says the test was a success, and Dr. Death has them place the mold from the man's corpse into a cultivation room. Kabubinga...
Love the cultivation.
I love the cultivation room, too.
Moist
Well-
cave table with a
It's just a
tablecloth.
Yeah. I loved seeing that episode, that scene in episode, because we were all watching, right, and Dr. Death was like, place the mold in the cultivation room, and we watched the shocker moot just like walk into a damp cave full of mold, and you're like, well, yeah, I mean,
I guess.
you're not fucking wrong, dog. That shit'll cultivate some mold for you.
I think my favorite part about the room is that they have like not necessarily strobe, but an unbalanced light that just
Mhm.
continuously flickers on and off and like kind of has the mold in focus, and that's like the only thing they did to that cave. So it's so
Yeah.
incredibly purposeful that's like, yeah, that's how we want. Okay,
Yeah.
interior designers, do that for us. And it's just like, that's silly. That's really
There's so much
silly.
about this episode that is incredibly silly. And I love it.
We're always here for that.
Yeah. We always have a good time when Kamen Rider tries to get a little silly with it. Whether intentional or not. So where are we? Okay, yeah, puts the mold for the man's corpse in the cultivation room. Kabibinga is sent out to attack more people with his mold. We then cut to the Moto Club, where Hayato is betraying all of us.
Yeah.
We need to talk about this
Yeah.
shit.
It's important.
Hayato is taking photos of the Rider girls. Something that in his first episode, he explicitly said he does not do. He said, I don't do women. Cut.
Who's this
End.
imposter?
Yeah, who is this? Who are you and what have you done with Hayato?
Okay, here's a thought.
Maybe they
Tell me your thought.
What if it's a fake camera?
Oh, you think he's just
Like,
he's
he's not-
appeasing them,
yeah, he's not actually taking the photos.
right? It's his
Like-
camera, but it's got no film in it.
Like
Yeah.
they're fucking children.
Well,
I would love that.
to be fair, they act like children sometimes.
Here,
Seems
kid, you
super
can
in
be
character,
player
too.
too.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of to keep this characterization consistent.
Yeah. Well, or of course, there's always the good old Akira Toriyama, and they fucking forgot.
I mean, yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
hey, at least shout outs to Toriyama for at least admitting when he just straight up fucking forgot a thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, whoops.
Tired
bad.
character.
Whoops.
Sorry.
But yeah. So, Hayato is taking photos of the Rider girls, and they comment on how it's been peaceful as of late. Hayato thinks Shocker will attack soon as he hasn't seen Taki in a few days. Back at the Shocker base, Kabibinga shows Dr. Death the twins, and he has him hypnotize them to work for Shocker, which he does. Yeah, I mean, I just had to...
Oh, I guess we glossed over
Yeah.
the Taki one in action.
Well, we're not quite at Taki
Oh,
wanting action.
Isn't that
Right.
there? Oh, sorry, I got
Yeah,
mixed
no,
up.
right.
I know
Right
at
now
some
we're
point.
at... Where is Taki?
I know at some point. During the photo shoot is our second creepy unison thing. All the Rider
Yes.
girls, for some reason, say some shit in unison,
Mm-hmm.
like whole sentences.
Yep.
It's just like, why is this happening again? Help! There's no twins.
Did you get it? The theme of the episode is twins. Did you get
the
it?
twins only do it once. Like first it's the three people with the twins.
Mhm.
And then it's the Rider girls. And then finally we get the actual twins doing the bit. Later.
by-
Spoilers. Sorry.
Yeah, by that point it's passe. Yeah, I truly do not know why the decisions that were made were the decisions that were made, but they were, and we're going to have to live with them.
Anyways, sorry for muddling up the timeline a little.
No, it's fine.
I do have to ask though, is this the part where we get Baby Cross?
No,
Or is
not
that
yet.
Later? Okay.
No, Baby Cross is
Sorry.
later. But we will absolutely
Oh, yeah.
talk. This is the part where Steve Williams pulls out the fattest blunt you've ever seen in your life. He smoked
He's got that
huge
old-
darts at fucking Shocker.
Yeah, he's got that old candle hypnotism.
Yeah,
Classic. He's a patron of the arts, truly.
he really is just a spirit Halloween Dracula.
Also that.
He's got it all. He's got a weird accent. He's got candle hypnotism. He's got boogers all over the wall. What more could you want, baby? He's got a damp room full of mold. He's got all things that are good.
The full package.
Wait, dude, this guy got mold room?
Yo, this guy got mold on God. Christopher, I have a room full of mold, and I know how much you love mold.
About to start acting up.
Yo, this man got a room full of mold. I'm about to sip.
Down bad.
Down
Yeah,
bad for,
yeah, sure fucking am.
Down bad for a bad Dracula with a room full of mold. Oh my lord. Oh. Can you tell this episode isn't giving us a lot to work with?
No, I was just gonna let you sit with that one for a bit.
No, that's fair.
Stew in your shame.
I have no shame. I can't even spell it.
Spell sham right now.
SQRP.
Close enough.
Scoop.
Close enough. You got it now.
Yep.
Got him.
Enjoy.
Let's go. I'm gonna win the spellings bee. Anyhow, we cut back to the Moto Club where Taki arrives and lets Hayato know about the disappearances at the graveyard. Then
Fucking Kramer slides into that
I
room.
was
really
just
does.
gonna say, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so sitcom-y, I don't understand.
I think he even is like, "Yo, it's Taki."
Hey, everybody.
Hey, oh, bada bing.
Audience cheers.
Hey, somebody order a gabagool.
He does the big camera grin, like the composition of the shot too almost makes him look like he's looking directly into the camera. It's so
Yeah,
weird.
really.
Just
He's like, "Where is everybody? I want to kick some ass."
like
Yeah.
you film on location, but you've made it seem like a set. It's impressive.
I mean, that one might be a set.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
The Moto Club's probably a set.
Yeah.
I'd guess, though. I don't know.
Maybe.
Stranger
I don't know. I
Things
feel like we
happens.
see all like the doors and walls of the Moto Club at different times, but maybe I'm just misremembering.
You know, you
I'm
might be
sure.
right. You might be right.
Search me, man.
It's very possible. Yeah, never mind. But it probably would have been more sensible.
To make it a set, yeah, for sure. So yeah, Taki arrives, he lets Hayato know about the disappearances of the graveyard. Then, and I had to write this like this because I am immune, or I am not immune to twin magic. I fucking fall for this ruse.
Also,
So I just put one of the twins because I truly could not tell you if it was June or if it was Mako. I don't know. They
Mako
don't fucking
is in the blue, I believe.
Dabba-dee dabba-die.
Yeah.
But okay, so it's their hair things you have to look at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they had little
Yes.
hair ties.
Okay, that is an upsettingly small detail, and I
A
wish they
little.
just put these fucking kids in different clothes. But
No,
you know
like-
that kind of ruins
That
the plot.
That would ruin the bit a little.
Yeah,
I picked up on the hair ties pretty much instantly because I feel like I've seen enough twins to just know like it's gonna be slightly
Yeah,
different.
same.
You gotta look. Yeah, you gotta look.
It's always it's always the hair. Like 9 times out of 10. Or one of them has like a beauty mark on one side and the other one has it on the other side.
Yeah.
Something like that.
okay. See, I have not interacted with quite so many twins in my lifetime, so I never had to do the twin gambit.
I mean, at the very least, twins in media.
Yeah.
It's generally
Yes.
how they work.
Yeah,
I've
that's
also
fair.
made characters that are twins enough to do the same thing, so
Yeah.
I understand your ruse, Kamen
Kind of
Rider.
strategies. I mean, I don't think it was meant to be that much of a ruse.
Well, it got me. Whether it was my intention or not, I am now a passenger on Kamen Rider's Ruse Cruise. So, essentially, this boils down to the synopsis just says the twin, the other twin. I couldn't give you names.
I
wasn't
believe
paying that much attention.
Mako went to the motor club first.
Okay, cool. So Mako goes to the motor club. Mako goes to the motor club saying her sister has been kidnapped by Shocker.
Yeah.
Thinking it may be a trap, Taki and Hayato still go to look for Jun. Right?
Junko.
Jun? It's Jun.
Yeah, Junko.
Is it
Junko?
Junko and Mako?
Mako and
Junko.
Junko.
Oh, okay. So I did just take the other girl's name down incorrectly. I thought it was just Junko and Mako. Okay,
I'll never
So, yeah,
forget
they
a
go-
Junko.
Episode 20.
that's fair. Yeah, episode 20. It's the special one. You can tell because I didn't fucking try it all. Whoops.
Or-
Anyway,
It's like
there'll
two
be some
tens. They're like
special
twins.
art for episode 20, probably.
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 Are you
We'll see
looking at
about
a
it.
different picture than you normally do?
If so,
Then I've done
there
it.
you go.
Ta-da!
Voila! It's the
Good job.
prestige.
If not, this is gonna age really badly.
Yeah, the prestige is us making assholes out of ourselves mid-episode about
If not
a
you,
thing that we still don't know if we're gonna do or not.
if you can't see the difference, keep looking.
Yeah,
God.
Ooh, I could.
just be real dickheads about it.
I could.
It's the long
But
time
knowing you
watcher,
go for
first
you
time
to
writer
actually
pod.
make a difference.
Yeah,
Oh no, I was thinking of for every episode, because I do the uploads now, I can easily make small micro adjustments per episode, like each picture,
yeah, that's
Good.
true.
and
Sure
just
could.
It's true.
just slowly change over the course of this like 50 more episodes we have.
Make a fucking ARG.
Yeah, it'll be the Kamen Rider ARG.
We'll make a Kamen Rider ARG.
I'd say there's probably a minimum of 25 more podcast episodes to go for this series.
There is an
So
exact
there's roughly
amount, but I don't
50-ish
remember.
episodes to go. So
Yeah.
you have time to animate something very slowly coming out the screen.
Yeah, the ARG has already started, by the way.
Will
Yeah,
you
it
be
started
able
5
to
weeks
figure out
ago.
what it is? Yeah. We'll never tell what it is. Anyway, I did want to touch on this scene just very briefly because I wanted to mention I really like how they determine that it is a trap or that it is probably a trap because it is, it's just one of those like, hey, shocker, if you hadn't noticed by now, sometimes using children doesn't work because the way they figure out that this is maybe not on the up and up is this little girl shows up and she's like, my sister was kidnapped by Shocker. Please, you have to help me. And Hayato is like, well, little girl, we can definitely help you, but how do you know that I go after Shocker? To which the girl has no retort.
I gotta
Fair.
say, who doesn't know this by now?
I mean, fair, I guess,
But all right.
also,
If she had said that, though, she could have gotten away with
It
it.
would have been
could've.
very funny.
yeah, honestly, that
I
would
mean,
have
they
been
fall
really funny.
they fall for the limited trap that they were trying to pull anyways, so they might as well
Yeah.
have done something silly with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Not self-aware enough.
No, not quite. But yeah, so they head to the graveyard with Mako. Let me try to look for this. There we go. Then Shocker sends Junko, the other twin, back to the racing club with a box of drugged candy as a reward for saving her. She then leaves. We then see her chained up in the mold cultivation room. Back at the graveyard, Hayato and Taki.
cross.
Yeah, there's the baby cross.
Baby
I love the baby cross.
It's
The child-sized crucifix. My notes call it fun size.
Yeah,
God. Just
for when your little boy or girl wants to fucking go out as Jesus this Halloween. You can give him a little crucifix.
carry this shit.
Yeah. I guess since we're being a little more freeform with it this episode, we can just get into it with that bit. I don't know. There's just a lot to love about the child-sized cross, about seeing this little girl on the child-sized cross. It also makes me think of something that we kind of commented on when we were watching the episode, and actually I think I might have made a note about this. Oh yeah, I did make a note. I put a note that said, getting the full Shocker experience, this kid must be having a blast.
Right.
Oh yeah, these
the
kids.
Yeah, these kids which, like, real world implications, this is great. This is beautiful. This is wonderful. I love it. But acting wise, unfortunately, these little girls do not do a great job. And there are a lot of bits where they can't help but be smiling, even though they're supposed to be acting like scared or whatever. Which, like,
terrorized.
yeah, like they don't do a very good job of acting scared. But, like, again, real world implications wise, the fact that they were having enough fun to be, like, smiling and happy while they're trying to film these scenes means that they were treated well, and that's great.
Yeah.
I'm glad they had a good job.
Yeah.
Aw.
There's
I'm glad they had to have a good time with it.
on the reveal of the snack size crucifix, there's also like the
The little Tykes crucifix.
Yeah. Oh man.
uh
Please edit the little text logo on the crucifix.
It's so good.
Sorry, go ahead. Go.
Kabi
Bazinga.
yeah, Bazinga, share my brain
Yeah,
right now.
it's fine.
He like grabs the child's head, turns it to him, and is like, "What a great guinea pig for like our terrible experiments." And you can see that the kid is just laughing and having a good time.
That's good.
I got to meet Kamen
Yeah.
Rider.
Yeah. Mako Corpsen, send for the
Yeah.
man.
Like, yeah, it doesn't make for a great episode, but I'm glad that these little girls had a good time being on Kamen Rider, you know?
Yeah.
It's good to see, like, to visibly see that, like, they enjoyed themselves while filming this, and it wasn't, like, you know, super rough on them or anything.
Wasn't like that.
It does the
mountain
heart
one
good.
with the
Oh, yeah.
teachers.
Yeah. So, gosh, where were we? We got the little text crucifix.
We're in the graveyard with Mako.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Back at the graveyard, Hayato and Taki are still looking for Junko when it becomes foggy. Kabibinga tries to get the child to and by the child I mean Mako, to stab Taki, but she fails, and Hayato and Taki confront Shocker. Hayato fights Shocker as Kamen Rider, and he faces off against Kabibinga in a sword duel. So yeah, it's fight scene time, y'all. Let's talk about our fight scene. Let's talk about that first bit specifically, because it's... So we just got done talking about how these girls aren't great actors. And this scene is probably the one that suffers the most because of it. Because this girl kind of just, you know, very stiffly walks over to the sword that is planted in the ground nearby. Because why wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Picks it up and
Take the sword.
I don't even think she makes any kind of a thrust. She kind of just points
Yeah.
it at Taki. And Taki's like, whoa, hey!
Approaches him.
I think they kind of save it in the edit a little. I think they
little
do a kind of a quick cut as she's moving her arm, very lackadaisically,
Mhm.
to a cut where the knife where she's out of frame, but the knife is coming in, and
Mhm.
someone clearly is going like whoosh, like a lot faster, so he
Yeah.
can like do an action like whoa.
But yeah,
But-
it's...
Boy howdy,
Yeah.
they had some work to do.
They sure did. I don't know. It's fun. I love watching these girls.
They were kind of just a joy. They were one of the saving graces of the episode.
They really
for
were.
sure. Just watching them have a good time.
I will
Great.
definitely say the other saving grace of this episode, without a doubt, is this fight scene that we get into. This is a dope fight scene that's got a
pretty good.
lot of different stuff. We fight around like the temple area, which is very
Mhm.
cool. We get the bit where fucking Kabibinga throws throwing stars at Kamen Rider.
Yeah.
Such a surprise. It's completely out of
Yeah.
nowhere.
Just entirely out of left field. But he's like, fuck you, I got throwing stars, Kamen Rider. And he misses both times,
Okay.
and then some dude shows up in the tree. And Kamen Rider's like, I got a fucking answer for you, bud. Yo.
Takes those. He just gets some free throwing stars.
Yeah.
See, that's fair.
See, the problem with trying to use a weapon against Hayato is if you fail to kill him with it, you just give him a weapon. As is made evident by when he steals a sword in this episode and starts going nuts on people.
God, yeah, he is just tearing through everything.
Speaking
like,
of which, big ups.
like he's in a hurry.
Yeah, really. Big ups, by the way, to the Shocker Mook who gets stabbed and then is still standing and has to get slashed.
Yeah, what the hell?
They don't even try with that one.
I don't know. Was he supposed to like be catching the blade or something?
Oh no,
I don't know.
As
but
far
yeah,
as I saw, he got
hung
stabbed
on.
and was still standing.
He had to go for it one more time.
Had to try and earn that paycheck.
This is the Shocker Grunt earning his promotion for this set.
Yeah.
I'm gonna earn my rents today.
I'm gonna get my wings. Sweetie!
I think both my favorite and least favorite thing about this fight definitely involves the swords.
Mm-hmm.
Because a little bit prior to this, Hayato is fighting Bazinga, and
we're just married to that now, aren't we?
Well-
I guess I don't know.
You can just say Moldinger if you want.
Oh yeah,
Is it better? You decide.
Not really.
Is Moldinger his like English name?
I don't know. I forget what his name was, but he's Mold.
I think it was Moldinger.
Okay, I didn't remember
Kabibinga?
seeing Moldinger
Kabibingas.
anywhere.
Kabipingas.
Yeah,
Call him
Kabibingas.
Snooping around as usual.
So you get this scene where Hayato has the sword. You get him taking a mook and the mold gets thrown on the mook instead of him, where he then realizes, I cannot fight this person with my bare hands, which is what we touched on a little bit earlier.
Mm-hmm.
But this is he just put down his sword.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, this would be a really cool moment to try to prioritize just fighting with the sword and removing his more wrestling moves and kicks from the equation, and it'd be kind of like posing a unique challenge for the different cinematography and all that. But they do nothing with it.
Nope.
And it's
No.
You see, he must transform. That's it.
Yeah. It's we kind of brought this up a little bit earlier with the lack of doing anything with the mold growing on Kabibinga. Because if they had committed to this a little bit, having there be a point where Kabibinga was entirely covered in mold and was therefore pretty much untouchable with regular physical attacks would have been super neat, especially with the knowledge that hey, the way Kamen Rider finishes everyone is he fucking tries to kick him in the chest. So if that doesn't work now, what's the play? That would have been a cool needle to a cool needle to thread, a cool kind of challenge to have to parse, but we didn't.
It wouldn't have required any or near any changes to this script in a narrative perspective, because it's just right there. And just you could have got maybe a Kamen Rider charge or something where he does a jump and he stabs him and he goes flying. I don't know, but it's just
Rider slash.
Especially because you see him in just 2 scenes later doing some really cool stuff with the sword where he's going crazy, slashing everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And he does that really good maneuver where there's a mook coming up behind him, but he instantly uses his robot senses to just be on guard, even though he's just facing backwards. It's so good.
No, he's literally facing away from the mook, but his hand shifts over to where he's not facing to just put his sword into a guard position while he's looking the other way still.
It's so fucking good.
Oh
And,
man.
on the first strike from the mook, he jumps out of the way and turns around, and it's so good.
Yeah, if we could have gotten more of that definitely would have helped redeem this episode. A little bit, because that's the thing about swordplay in Kamen Rider is it's good. It's just been good every time, and so it it seems like these are handmade swords, handmade sword props that we are using specifically for the show. So I don't understand why we can't seem to have them all the time. Because, like, even in the very next episode that we have to cover tonight, we don't get swords anymore. We have swords this episode. Next episode, we switch to knives. And I'm interested in knowing what is the specific, like, limitation that has been placed on the set that makes it so that they cannot consistently have swordplay available as an option.
I don't have any good realistic answer outside of possibly, one, just an interest in variety, and two, wanting to sell multiple models of Shocker mooks.
Yeah, I mean, that might just be what it is, but, as, when well, I'm not going to say I'm not interested in Kamen Rider toys, because I totally am, but also, getting every single type of Shocker mook is not my biggest priority, especially not when I'm actually watching the show. So, it would be nice to get, I'd be willing to sacrifice a version of Shocker toy for, more sword fights, just because the sword fights that they do are always really good. And I really want to watch them flex that choreography more often.
What if they're more difficult to choreograph?
It's possible. That's maybe they require like a speed or a fluidity that makes them a little bit more difficult to act. It's also, it could just be a simple matter of insufficient staffing. They might just not have enough like guys to be Shocker mooks who also have sword training to be able to do that stuff.
I wonder if it has anything to do with the amount of violence, because like when we get swords, we always get so many kills.
Yeah, that's fair. And they aren't bloody or anything, but
they're not.
But
if that was consistent, Jesus Christ, I think we'd be over 500-600 at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, we mentioned it at the time, but when we swapped Hayato, there was a noticeable attempt to kind of crank the violence down a little bit compared to when Hanga was our main writer, and so that could absolutely be part of it. Is they do so many murders when swords get involved that they might have wanted to just not have them be in play every single time. So we don't have Kamen Rider kind of going all Punisher mode every episode. It's it's one of those little brain scratchers that makes me once again very desperately want to speak with anyone who was on set back during original Kamen Rider and be able to interview them and just be like, yo, what was it like? Why were these choices made? How much of this was done flying by the seat of your pants because you only had a real small budget, no so much time, It'd be very interesting to learn about the production of the show.
Literally all of it. We had a script for 3 episodes.
True.
We wanted to make a movie, honestly. I really didn't have any more plans for anything beyond like 90 minutes.
Yeah. The real answer is because, like, Haga's actor didn't actually get into a motorcycle accident. That's all we paid him for is, 11 episodes.
He got to go on vacation.
Yeah.
We spent too much money on his hair and couldn't give him a paycheck.
Yeah, that's why we couldn't make the movie, too.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right. Okay, where were we? Model Club.
Why are all these Kamen Rider staff such dweebs?
Well,
I don't know what you want from me, okay?
Look, let's be honest.
What are your expectations?
If you're working on Kamen Rider,
I can do a
Probably
henshin
a
and
big
transform
nerd.
into someone
Nah,
different.
but they're
if you
all
want.
sexy.
yeah, you think
Sexy
you think it's
nerds.
just a
Yeah.
staff full of Hongos?
I bet they all just had that hair and probably big old mustaches.
Dang.
Just a staff full of Burt Reynoldses.
Kinda, yeah. But not. Probably not. Probably various thin and chunky.
Yeah, probably a bunch
Thin,
of fucking
thin and
dweebs.
chunky mixes.
Yeah.
But I'm just almost certain that pretty like 90% of that staff had mustaches.
Oh, for sure. We're not doubting that. It was the 70s after all.
I won't doubt it. But whatever.
Fair.
I'm not here for them.
Yeah. Hey, look, I can't. I mean, honestly, you got some.
Probably a good looking one.
I'm sure they're nice, but there's 2 fucking grade A fucking Wagyu steaks just walking around. Big old hunks of meat, if you know what I'm saying.
Listen, if you can afford Wagyu, be my guest.
Hey, you know what? Maybe I can't
Sometimes
afford
you
it,
gotta.
but I
Sometimes
might
you gotta
handle-
buy grade B.
Look,
You know what? That's fair. Sometimes you gotta get the check.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing
look,
wrong with check.
I'm sorry. Go
if Honga wanted Wagyu, I'd be just like, okay, yeah, I guess I'll have to just cough that up.
Hold
Hongo
on,
is
let
the
me rob a
Wagyu.
bank- Yeah, Hongo is the Wagyu is the thing.
I mean, it could
Yeah, I
be both.
understand.
Hey, no, I understand perfectly fine. I'm saying it could be both.
Well,
Could be both.
I'm sorry,
Fair.
Hongo. I already paid so much for you, the Wagyu, that I cannot buy you Wagyu.
I think
unless
I
you want to help
could,
me rob
Or a
this bank.
house.
I think I could technically do both, but ugh.
That's, it'll cost you a pretty penny. Make sure
Yeah,
you
sure
make sure
would.
you bring some of that 2020 money back with you when you go back to 1971.
Yeah, right.
Otherwise-
He'll go
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
I'm really sure that they in Japan in 1972 will accept my debit card.
Well, they might
Absolutely.
could.
Swipe here.
I don't think so.
You might have to charge credit.
Yeah, that's it. You'll just have to charge credit.
In 1972 Japan.
Yeah,
Bring your MasterCard.
Bring your MasterCard.
I don't have a MasterCard.
We accept American Express and Visa.
Okay.
All right. Hell yeah, Visa. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm about to go hog wild.
Hongo, wow.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's the hog I was talking about.
Ah. There it is.
There it
The
is.
sweet fat of the hog.
Oh yeah.
It is too late.
Apparently.
We're descending so quickly. We have to keep going.
Yeah. Well, I was attempting to, but
I'm sorry, that was my
no, it's fine. It's okay. We're all your friend, B.
Yeah. And plus,
You were cussing me out on Twitter earlier today. Are you really my friend?
Yes, real friends cuss you out on Twitter when you do shitty shit.
Stay mad.
I will. I'll be mad forever. I'm literally probably never
Good.
gonna not be mad about that at least a little bit.
Thank
The
you.
fucking worst thing I've ever. I can't believe you did that to someone.
what do you mean it'd be easier?
The context.
It's easier to make.
For folks at home, the context is I have personally ordered none pizza left beef, and I fed the beef to a stray dog that I saw when the pizza arrived. There's the whole story.
Yeah, I mean
I think that tastes
that's
me for
it. It's but like it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
Not a beefy taste.
No,
Did
no,
you
I
at least-
taste
No,
I
that was
taste
the dog.
only the nun.
That's
beef has been
probably
fed to a
that is
dog.
that's the real problem.
I ate that sad pizza.
What do you mean?
I would have too.
Pizza dough is so good.
Yeah, that sounds like I don't know.
It
This
is just
situation
bread.
always
Yeah.
sounds great to me because I just love eating bread.
I guess
Yeah.
that's fair.
I'm Asian. I eat rice.
Okay, that's fair. But I want to also just propose to you that there have been multiple times that bread crusts have kept me from passing out in my life. So I'm just like, thank you, bread crusts. I appreciate you.
Eat some gluten.
Well, now I have a better appreciate. God. Gluten for girls.
Not you.
I don't know what this bit is anymore. We
I
have
don't
to
think
go.
there's a bit.
We gotta go. We gotta get me out of
Yeah,
here.
please.
Gonna
I'll
record for 3
I'll
hours
let you
and
out
only
by
1
taking
hour.
you to the Moto Club. Because meanwhile, at the Moto Club, everyone has passed out. Oh no, because of the sweets. And the mold placed in the bottom of the box starts growing. Taki attempts...
Which,
Oh, go ahead.
at this scene, I couldn't help but think, like, wait, they tranked the food and put mold in the bottom of the box so that they would fall asleep and the mold would come out of the box. It would emerge from the box once they have fallen asleep and consumed them. Why didn't they just put mold in the food?
Because they would have knows.
It would have been smelly.
Yeah. You ever seen moldy food, B? It's kind of...
Yes.
Okay.
Listen, I have, first of all, but sometimes you can get caught a little off guard, and I'm going to assume that a small amount of mold could have done the trick, and then it would have been like, oh no, our friends got the mold inside them.
And then they died?
But it's a small amount, so it takes time to spread, to germinate or whatever. So then you have to find an antidote.
Yeah.
The evil seed of the mold you ate will germinate within you.
Yeah.
And here's my thought. I think if you're going to, put mold under the food, you could have just given food that mold would belong in. Like, you could have given an
like
assortment
blue
of
cheese?
blue cheeses.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's a good idea.
You think Japanese people are gonna eat blue cheese?
Maybe.
Some of them might.
As
If
if
they're,
it's
like,
a
real
gift.
hoity-toity.
It could be exotic.
Like, would you not take a courtesy bite of a food if someone was like, "Thank you, I'll give you this."
It depends
No.
on
Thank
the
you for
food.
saving my sister.
Yeah. Here is a blue cheese.
I am a picky bitch. There's a good chance I will say thank
Eat
you
a
and not eat
vegetable.
it.
Yeah.
No, I say
I will
this as one
destroy
too.
you.
I also hate
Chase.
blue cheese.
But like, hey, I'd
Blue
have
cheese.
like a small, like half a slice, and I would die because I'm too
Nah.
polite.
Nah, fuck that shit. I'm 26 goddamn years old. I know what I like and what I don't like. I appreciate that you got me this raw shrimp as thanks for saving your sister. I'm not eating it. I'm sure I have friends who will enjoy the shrimp. This is not me.
Pay
Fucking
it
deep fry.
forward.
Yeah, deep fry the shrimp, and then you got me. But
You deep fry it.
all right.
Well,
I will.
clearly you don't own an air fryer.
No, I don't. I deep fry.
I hate you.
I deep fry my shit in oil in a pot like a man.
I can I have earned the privilege to say that now because today at home we were delivered an air fryer.
Oh,
Someone
yeah?
in the household ordered an air fryer.
You on that air fryer
And then
life
opened
now?
it up in the kitchen, and I'm just like, oh, we're this now.
Oh,
Cool. I've ascended.
oh,
Join the elite
I've
club.
become white.
Yeah. Become.
Yeah, really. I mean, yeah, obviously it's not the same for you, Shakes, but every now and again, whenever we get an appliance like that, or when we would get an appliance like that back when I was living with my parents, it would just kind of feel like that. Like, I that was definitely the feeling I had when I saw the air fryer come home. I was just like, oh, our whiteness has ascended. We have become more white.
Turn the dial.
Yeah.
Howdy.
Yeah. Same with
Anyway.
when I saw they got a fucking Roomba. I was just like, oh, we're white now.
Howdy, y'all. I
Hello.
am white.
Oh,
Hi, my name is Bill, and I love white
Hello.
bread sandwiches.
hello.
I love making
Sorry.
toast.
I enjoy making
So-
toast and doing my taxes.
Respectfully.
Sorry. I can't eat spicy
You
food.
saying a white person does their taxes?
Well, some. I'm sorry.
Look, I can never hold a grudge on that one.
I am
yeah.
mandated by the state to apologize, as I am also a white.
Well, not entirely. I mean,
I'm white
I guess-
enough.
You only have to apologize.
Yeah.
what does that sound like? Because I need to do that. soon.
I'm
sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's,
it sounds
also
like I'm
that.
sorry you were
so
offended.
Sorry. I'm sorry you were offended.
Anyways, I'm gonna try to bring it back real
Yeah.
quick. I just wanted to provide a scenario, a proposal for you, B.
Yes.
Why it has to be activated. Why we have to activate the mold. You see,
Okay.
this is my information from my uncle at Kamen Rider.
Okay.
Alright.
The mold can only be activated, is only deadly when it touches your epidermal layer.
Okay, I mean that doesn't really track with real life mold.
No,
entirely,
not
but
whatsoever. I'm just
that's
saying.
fine.
It's a
You know,
special
so
mold.
your
Damn.
uncle works at Kamen Rider, so you're right. I should.
This
believe
is a special shocker mold.
Damn, the
It has
fake
to
mold
touch your
from this
skin.
fake show, from the fake cyborg, from the fake Nazi organization doesn't work like real mold. Fucked up.
So
Unwatchable.
So here's the rub for me.
Hit me with
Is
it.
apparently the activation was like in the box and was like activated when Tachibana dropped his half-eaten cookie into the
Right.
box, and then it made it like explode into mold.
I don't know if that's quite accurate.
I'm not entirely sure what the mechanism was, but it was
I-
implying it was really counting on him
Lying
dropping
to
it there.
fate.
I think it was just a time lapse thing. I think it was just like after X amount of time, no matter what happens, mold starts. And they kind of were just like,
better
this
eat that
is-
fast.
Yeah, we caught.
What if they were? What if they were picky like you all, and they just like set it on the counter, and it just like started leaking mold everywhere, and they just threw it away?
Well,
Yeah.
then they would have survived.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Oh, they died?
oh my god, spoilers!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
The Moto Club dies in this episode. So
Yeah, it's really weird. Sorry.
it's fucked up.
Oh,
The Dark Urkel comes.
This is making
That
me
guy's
realize
scream is about as good as those twins acting.
Yeah,
I
really.
have some of the best cheesecake I've ever tasted downstairs.
I'm
I hope
sorry
I
that
can
we
get
were
another
keeping you
Quit
from that.
Fucking bragging.
Yeah.
I mean, it was homemade. Apparently, I could send
Yeah.
you a recipe. I don't know.
Oh, like me,
I
I'm
have
gopher.
one,
I got
thank you.
homemade cheesecake. Ugh.
I don't know. Ugh.
You fucking dick.
Oh,
Anyway.
no.
Oh, come on.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Go
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go for it.
I know you didn't come here for this.
So they're all asleep.
Yeah, so anyway, they all sweepy.
Quotations,
Yeah.
air quotes.
What? Yeah, good. Put this box right. Yeah, okay.
The big sleep.
Taki attempts to save Mako, but is knocked out, only to be saved by Hayato. Asterisk here also. Fucking Taki's dumb ass rams Mako into a gravestone, and that undoes her hypnotism.
It sure does.
No, I love it. It's great. Get out of my way, kid.
Yeah, B would love that.
Yeah, if there's one thing B loves, it's violence to children.
Get out of
I
here,
don't
kid. You
hate
smell
children.
bad.
Yeah,
I just like cheeseburgers.
ain't nothing wrong with that. Love a good chimps burger.
Love
So
a Jim's burger.
I take it. How am I supposed to? Is that supposed to imply that we have conditioned you through the sake of this podcast that whenever a child gets hurt in media, you're just like, hell yeah, free cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger for
Yeah,
me.
like Pavlov's bell. I salivate at the sight of violence against children. Dinner time.
Oh my lord.
Goddamn sense.
I'm going to be cancelled.
No, you won't. I won't let
Not
you.
again.
Not again.
Wait, B, you were canceled once?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Did I miss it?
You're the one who said not again.
It's too late. I'm sorry. I'm exhausted.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it's
There's
keep-
still more madness to descend. Let's do it.
Yeah, there's a little bit more.
This,
Let's do
All right.
it.
Final fight scene rules. Let's get.
You
to
know
it.
what this?
Yeah.
You know what this podcast energy has?
Yeah,
It has
but-
the energy
What?
of the scene we skipped, which is just like a little tiny scene where Kamen Rider Ragdoll happens.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Kamen
that's at the
Rider.
end of the Kabinga fight.
Yeah.
Oof! Ouch.
Oh, my bones.
And then he just pops up later. It's just like, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, shit, we
That
did
sucks.
skip that. Yeah, that's, fucking... Did I not write that down?
Maybe not.
I could have... I know I didn't write that down because it was part of the fight, but I thought I wrote down what happens afterwards.
I
Hold
mean,
on.
it's not really plot relevant is the thing. It's just a really good
It's
scene
not.
because it's, Kamen Rider Ragdoll,
Trip.
Absolutely.
where you really realize how little bones they have in there. Like, there's no armature or anything. It's just straw or whatever the hell. It's great.
Just a
Oh, never mind.
shaped sack.
It's we were just about to get to the bit that I was thinking of, so I did write it down. Neat. So yeah, let's talk about it. So anyway, Taki attempts to save the girl. He slams her into a fucking tombstone. She gets unbrainwashed. Taki gets knocked out. Hayato shows up, saves Taki, readjusts his fucking spine, bringing him back to consciousness.
Oh,
Yeah.
Special cyborg skill.
I'm up.
Yeah. What's up? Didn't know I could do that, did you?
Yeah. Well,
I'm
know.
sure he knows.
I was gonna say, considering the activities that we imply that Taki and Hayato get up to after hours, I am positive he was aware. Talk about spine on the pine, if you know what I mean.
Lord.
Anyway, the three arrive at the moto club where Hayato finds out that oil will dissolve the mold. He does this in a dumbass way, which is he's a big fucking butterfingers, and he
Oopsie.
kicks an oil can.
Oh, man.
Rips into the oil.
Oh, my cyborg feet.
Oh. Fucking
Couldn't
Kamen
tell where I
Rider.
was fucking going.
Size 13s. Strips in all over the floor.
On God?
Damn, I'm finna act up.
Hello?
13s, you say? Japanese? You're kidding.
Like, right? No.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Where am I?
You know where the fuck you are.
What school do you go to?
No, I don't go to school anymore.
Well,
They'll
you
let me
see,
loose on
That
the
makes
world.
sense.
you see, B. It's
Yes.
nearing midnight and it's fats, so
Yeah.
it has begun.
I've become activated. Not unlike a bowl of almonds.
What?
You've never activated your almonds, B?
No.
You gotta activate your almonds.
Yeah, I can tell.
Please tell me. Please shut up.
Clearly, you've never activated
Silence,
your
white girl. I'm sorry, I don't mean that.
Oh my god. Anyway.
Where the hell
I'm
were we?
sorry.
Something about oil will
going.
dissolve the mold. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Back at Shaku's base, Kababinga is chastised for letting Kamen Rider live and told
Yeah.
he'll only be given one more chance, but before he must defeat his failed combatants. This was just a weird scene that was kind of fun.
They were so mean to
Yeah, we were
him.
really mean to Kabinga for like no reason.
He's a fucking mold monster.
Yeah, I was gonna
Get
say
out of here.
I still stand by my theory that fucking Fashistashi just did not like him in the first place. And
He's kind of disgusting.
so he
Like,
made like
yeah,
one little mistake and fucking he was like, get his ass. I want him out.
Go fight Kamen Rider. Yeah, sure. I guess you'll win. Whatever. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he's gone. He's
Get
gone.
him outta
Just
here.
prepare a new base.
Yeah, make another one. Fuck this. I hate
Yeah,
this
lock
place.
him out.
Yeah. Lock him out.
I'm
Disgusting.
putting explosives at the door.
Disgusting.
The very premise of your existence disgusts me. Please leave my
Yeah.
sight.
Go get Rider kicked, please.
Yeah, well, he's about first he has to murder his comrades that didn't do a good job at murdering Kamen Rider and also didn't
Shocker
die. Yeah,
You dare
Or-
come back alive?
yeah. Fuck you. Die.
Waiter.
Die.
Okay.
Yeah, anyway, yeah, I don't know. Shakes makes up a good point. We're enacting shocker law more often, whether for better or worse. It's just nice to see more shocker law actually be enacted.
Love shocker on shocker
I
violence.
love shocker on shocker violence. Does that count for the death count at all?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Any on-screen kills count.
Hell yeah. So here we go. Here we go. Probably the best part of the episode. Hayato and Taki go back to the graveyard to find Shocker's base, where Shocker is laying a trap for Kamen Rider. They blow up Hayato, but he survives and uses the explosion to change into Kamen Rider. Hayato defeats Shocker with the help of Tachibana, while Taki breaks into the base and rescues Junko. And that's it. That's the rest of the episode essentially. So let's get into it. Kamen Rider fucking explodes.
Yeah. Well, before that, I do want to cover the important safety concerned Mook.
Yes. Yeah, we have
Who's
safety
like,
concern.
dang, you put a bunch of explosives above the base. Is that gonna be okay?
Hey, Kevin is
What
like,
about
yeah,
the base?
it's gonna be fine. The explosion is big enough to go down that deep. We're fine. We're good.
Yeah, it's deep underground. Thank you for your question.
I sincerely thought that would lead
Yeah,
somewhere.
same.
Like,
Oh.
somehow Kamen Rider would, like, make the explosion bigger and destroy the base beneath them.
Or like
something,
open a
but-
hole so
Yeah.
so the explosion can
Yes.
reach them easier. Yeah. I kind of
Nope.
was also expecting it to pay off, but no, they just blow him up.
No, they just blow his ass up. We get a great scene where, because this is like a different transformation than earlier, than the previous ones. We get to see Kamen Rider land. Like, he catches his scarf out of the air, lands, and then ties it on. It fucking rules.
It's great.
Mid-fight scene, because he is immediately beset, so he ties it on and turns around and punches.
Yeah, it fucking rules. It's the best. Taki just kind of follows a dude into the Shocker base. They just had a moving, they had the secret panel gravestone.
They also had, a different door.
Yeah, you know, like every video game graveyard has. There's always that one gravestone that you got to move in order to get to the underground dungeon. That's where you get the hook shot.
Dompe would walk a little
Yeah,
faster.
come on, Dompe, hurry the fuck up. We got places to be.
References for kids.
Yeah, children's references.
I don't know, maybe
Uh,
kids play Zelda, right?
Kids play Legend of
They
Zelda.
better.
Besides, both fucking Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time have been remastered like once or twice. There's access. Play
There's-
Legend of Zelda.
I still need to.
Everybody's telling children to play those games, so there's probably a good amount who have.
Yeah.
The children who are watching this podcast.
Yeah, if you're 5 years old and you're watching this podcast, first of all, fucking why, dog? Like, yo, what is
Go
happening?
tell your parents.
Second of all, oh no.
Yeah, oh no.
I'll hit you for a cheeseburger.
Yeah, third of all, watch your ass.
Get out of
Never
here.
come to a live show. B will be on you like white on rice.
I have
And they love rice.
and I love my rice.
Get
I
your
haven't
blood.
had lunch yet. Come here, kid.
And fourth of all, congratulations on watching a Kamen Rider.
Yeah, good job. You made a good choice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We're
you probably shouldn't be
assuming you
watching that
did.
either yet, honestly.
Yeah.
Probably not, but hey, I was watching worse when I was 5. It's
It-
fine.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
That's not a defense.
Trauma's real.
Mm,
But also, whatever. I can't remember what I did anything at 5.
The only
That's
thing
why
I
watched
remember
I
doing
watched
it-
Jurassic Park a lot, which is probably also something I shouldn't have done.
Yeah, that's fair. I watched a lot of Monty Python and the Holy Grail, which is probably also something I shouldn't have done at 5.
Oh yeah.
Probably not.
My God, probably
Yeah.
not.
And The Life of Brian, of course.
I didn't watch Life
My
of Brian.
brother-
My parents were a little bit better than that. They were like, you can't watch the other
Yeah.
ones. You're not old enough for them, but you can watch Holy Grail.
Same.
That one's fine.
Somehow.
Well, I mean, to be
Well,
fair,
because there's
I
not the
get-
scene at the end.
Well, okay.
Romanus Ete. My favorite memory of that scene is that in my high school Latin class, our teacher showed us that scene from that movie because it is, an actual Latin lesson on
Sure.
conjugating your verbs and shit. Anyway,
Love it.
yeah.
Kamen Rider.
Kamen Rider.
Kamen Rider has 2 swords.
Kamen Rider has 2 swords. You thought it was fucked up when Kamen Rider had 1 sword? Well, now he's got 2 swords. Shit's about to get wild.
Why your mom let you have 2 swords, Kamen Rider?
B, you know the answer to this one.
Because I got 600 IQ.
Because he's gay? Oh. Same answer.
Yeah,
I mean, more or less.
it's the same as the original gag.
Yeah,
I've
really.
just adapted it.
Truly, that is my favorite answer. Like, there are so many versions of that meme, but that one is my absolute favorite by far. There's just something about that as an answer. True.
It's the energy I try to carry.
Honestly. Anyway. Yeah, Kamen Rider's got 2 swords. He's fucking shit up. We get a good dual sword versus dual sword fight between Hayato and Kabinga. That's real neat.
God, yeah, he just like goes like wha and just has 2 swords in his hands.
Yeah.
Suddenly.
Yeah, he just jump cuts 2 swords into his hands.
Impudent fools.
Wish I had that power.
Yeah, how come I don't have the ability to jump cut 2 swords into my hands? Texas is a PvP enabled zone now. This is bullshit.
No!
It is.
Yeah. You're locked into redraw only because it's PvP.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh.
It's for balance.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that I think everyone on this podcast needs to get 2 swords.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
That's fair.
I don't even have 1 swords right now.
Yeah, that's all you need to.
Does a
Yeah.
replica lightsaber count?
Yes.
No.
I think it counts. Checks.
Get a real sword, you nerd.
I am thinking battle-ready sword that you can purchase or create
define
yourself.
battle ready. I could hit somebody with this.
Yeah. What does a
It
what
even
does
makes
a
the
lightsaber
noise.
What does a lightsaber replica if not a club?
Yeah. I guess
Well,
it's
that's not a
sword.
sword now, is it?
No, but
that's-
it's
that's
still
an admission
battle
that it's
ready.
not a sword.
Yeah.
It'll do some blunt force trauma.
Okay.
Don't knock
Enjoy
blunt
editing
damage.
that.
Enjoy editing all of this?
Just
No,
the whole
did that
podcast.
not pick up?
I guess
No.
not.
No, not on Discord. There we
Hey.
go.
Yeah.
Ah.
Hey.
Now you gotta cut it out because you know Disney's
Fucking, I dare him to. You gotta take away Disney, you fucking bitch. I'll pee on your grave.
I'm sure it picked up twice on my record.
Come fight me, Michael. No.
Yeah. Get at me, Walt. I know your fucking frozen ass is still alive. You want my money? You're gonna have to wrestle me for it, bitch.
$10,000 on the Patreon. We'll all get 2 swords.
And fight each other?
Eh,
Or will we fight Disney?
we could do both.
I'll fight
I think
someone.
the latter might
Texas
be
is
better.
PvP enabled. I'm gonna start fucking
We should
building
at
that
least
kill
do that one
streak.
first.
Yeah, because it'll be better with more of us.
I mean,
Yeah, you don't want to hurt your numbers.
the initial
before battle.
fight does not have to
Four-player
be
co-op.
lethal
Oh,
between
no!
us. That's our
But-
ready up fight. Then we fight Disney, and then we fight to the death.
Like Double
I
Dragon.
fucking
you gotta,
hate you, Spectrum.
who
I hate
gets
you
the
so
girl.
much.
Except in this case, I don't know what we're actually going to be struggling over.
Michael Mouse's crown
Struggle are you like?
Oh,
That'll do me.
because he's
I
the
will
king.
rip it from his scalp and I will pin it to my head.
Thank God.
I think that's disconnected.
Oh, Kitty Heart is so goddamn stupid. That's not about that. Taki rescues Junko.
What are you why you keep talking? Fats is gone.
Wait, Fats is gone?
He's gone!
I sing!
gone.
I think Fats disconnected.
Gone, man.
Oh, I didn't hear.
We gotta keep going.
That
He's
was
gone.
forever. You can't look back.
We've lost him. There's no getting him back. We have to keep going. It's what he would want.
Polar opposite of what you.
Oh no, though, that being said.
What?
Hello, I
Okay.
breathe again.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Hello.
I just want to say
Where did you cut off?
a very sincere fuck you to Spectrum.
Yeah.
Because like from 4:30 when I got off of work, until just that instant, my internet was fine. So that's like,
Yeah, they can smell it. They can smell when you
right?
eat it.
It's
Yeah.
it's so frustrating. Anyway, I truly am not sure when I cut out.
That's cool. We were just kind of rambling about swords.
Yeah, it's fine.
And fighting Michael Mouse.
And
Yeah.
fighting old Walt.
Taking his scalp, putting it on B's head.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It would look lovely.
Okay, sure. It'd
drew
be
a picture
wet
like
and
that once.
mushy.
You try it off first,
That's why
like
you have
jerky.
to pin it on. Just get a paper
Alright,
towel.
that's
Put
fair.
it on.
Yeah.
Or a hanky.
Why would you?
Do you want to be a little more environmentally conscious?
Yeah.
It's not the same unless the blood is just dripping down your forehead and
That's
past your
false.
eyes.
Yeah.
It's true.
That's fair. Doesn't mean I have to like it.
I mean, you could get a double.
Well, you don't have to wear it. I'm going
Yeah,
to
that's
wear
fair.
You
It's
could
your
get a
scalp.
double
He
layer.
is going to beat you in in 4-player free-for-all combat.
No, I don't want B to beat me in 4-player free-for-all combat. I'm not good at free-for-alls.
Sorry.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'll beat
Me
you in
neither.
free for all, and then they'll beat me, and then Shakes and B will fight it out. I don't know who will win it.
I don't need to know mechanics in real life. I just have to bite you real hard.
Fuck you, I can wave dash.
This is
I'm gonna be on your ass. Like,
in real
yeah.
life.
I'll be like,
That's something I gotta tell you. I can wave dash in real life.
I do have to tell you now, or it's entrapment.
Okay,
Not a
so
fair
here's
fight.
your homework, Fats. You're gonna send me a video of you wave dashing
wave
in real
dashing.
life. Yeah.
It's fine.
I'll
I'll
only
fig-
accept
I'll-
if you can also shine spark.
I can't shine because I'm not a fucking spacey, but you know, I can at least wave dash grab up air. You know,
Yeah.
I've got Ganondorf mechanics.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna fucking Doria your shit. Doria!
Yell at me. Ah!
Do you have anything else to say about this episode? Because we were at the end of it when we started fucking around anyway.
Yeah.
Oh.
Tachibana comes in with his big ass cartoon gas can.
Yep. And his big ass cartoon
Yes.
smile. I love you, Tachibana.
Check out what I got.
We get a fun scene of Taki rescuing Junka from the child cross.
Yes.
I do like that his method for freeing her from the chains is Unga Bunga Crave Man Get Rock. Dunk!
Yeah, he just kind of bashes at the chains
Yeah.
with a rock.
I assume there's like
And
a
it works.
lock that
Oh, it
he
works.
breaks,
Damn.
but you know, yeah. And he poured
No,
in the
he just
storm,
breaks
right?
her
When in Rome.
wrists.
And
Is there anything else for us to say about this particular episode, or are we good?
Tachibana is a horrible little litter bug.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Well, I mean, like, I guess we can play through the sequence of events of Moldinger's defeat.
Yeah, we should probably cover
Yeah,
that.
that's fair.
This is
crap, we
pretty
haven't
good.
covered that.
He
So,
comes down with his gas can.
yeah. So Tachibana shows up. He pours gas all over Moldinger. Moldinger gets rider kicked. I thought Moldinger was going to catch on fire because that would be the reasonable thing to happen after he was covered in oil. But instead, he rolls down the cliff really slowly and then he just kind of dissolves.
I think it's
He
still
nailed
pretty
you.
fun.
It's, yeah, I
But
mean, it's,
the elongated hill roll is always a delay.
yeah, the elongated hill roll is very good. I don't know. I personally was disappointed that we didn't get, yeah, okay, you know what? Here's what it is. Here's the actual thing. I've been watching modern Kamen Rider with our friend Deer. I've been watching one of the more recent series, Kamen Rider Saber. It's very good. If you are in the audience, you should watch it. I can't wait to watch it with the podcast. Saber has like 2 or 3 times just set a bad guy on fire.
Hell yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah, it's super dope. And so I saw this dude get covered in mold, and I was like, fuck yeah, Kamen Rider is about to set a dude on fire. And then they didn't,
his
and I was
feet.
like, oh.
Because that's not what the thing was. It just melts.
Yeah, him just melt.
Him just melt in oil.
But they could have set him on fire
Just
a
one of
little bit.
those fun chemical reactions that happens.
Yeah,
But that'd be so scary.
it would be. I'm not sure how
That'd be
they
a
do
little
that
much.
stunt in Saber, but they do it, and it's great.
There's fire suits.
Yeah,
It's probably fire suits too.
it's the thing.
I want to wear one of those. I think it'd be fun.
Do you also want to be set
It
on
does
fire?
sound
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. I was
Yeah,
just gonna
fair.
say, like, you better not waste the opportunity. Or
Yeah.
Yeah, no, of course not. Just like, please.
Might as well Human Torch that shit while you got the chance.
Yeah.
Cool. Can I also be the one who sets you ablaze? Because,
Yeah, sure.
frankly, like at that point, I
Shakes-
want the privilege.
Shakes, is this just you wanting to set something on fire, or do you have a weird thing about doing violence on Gopher? Because this is like the second or third thing at this point.
Any of you can wear it.
All right, fair enough.
Here, we'll just take.
Come on.
I think
I-
in
You tough enough?
in fairness,
Got what it takes?
in fairness, I think the only way to realistically set B on fire would be to
Huh?
both get covered, like both get in those suits, and then do a fist fight with like, and so to see how the oil like sparks and try to catch yourself on fire, or catch the
Oh,
other
that'd be
person on
so
fire.
cool.
Um,
If you set me on fire, I'm gonna give you a hug.
Yeah, that's fair. Give me a hug, Gus.
Cool.
Come here.
Safe
What a-
distance,
Come
I
here.
see.
Come here.
I'm going to get a flare gun
see this.
and
This
run.
is no. This is when B bites your shins, and then you can't run anymore, and then they hook you.
What?
Damn.
That would still require them to catch me
You
I'm
with the
sure
fucking
they
Joe
will.
While on
Valentine
fire.
unblockable.
while wearing a flame suit.
Hmm.
Better start
Do
running.
you think being set on fire would make me run less fast?
I don't know.
Yeah, I assume B gets faster.
It depends
when
on
they're
the suit's
fire.
movement.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah, it's fair.
I'd imagine they're a little bulky.
Audience members,
We
please
have-
contemplate the suit's movement as you enjoy these wonderful ads.
Hello, everyone. Are you enjoying the show? This is B-Drops here to give you a little information during our break. If you'd like to keep up with the latest news about Longtime Watcher First Time Rider, you can follow our official Twitter at FirstRidePod. If you'd like to keep up with what the rest of us are doing, please do consider following us on Twitter as well. You can find King Fats the 95th at KingFats95. You can find the Magical Whale Gopher at Whale Gopher. You can find Action Shakespeare at That Gal in the Hat. And you can find me at B-Drops Art. Thank you so very much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
I have something before we get
Oh,
back.
okay. This is pre.
And this truly has nothing to do with the podcast, but might make a funny thing to segue into.
All right, hit me with it.
Before we go to, I just wanted to read this aloud and have it on record.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm looking for jobs these days, and I was checking these listings on Indeed. I wanted to read this one because it was like, oh wow, this seems really promising. Because on the top of it, it's like, oh yeah, $77 an hour.
Okay.
Jesus.
What?
Seems good.
All right. So here's their description. Full job description. If you were standing in front of a building that was on fire, would you rush in to
What?
save lives? When making a tough call, does your gut win over your head and heart? When playing rock, paper, scissors, do you look for and exploit patterns in the behavior of your opponent? When you open the newspaper, do you immediately go for the crossword? Do you prefer the unexpected over routine? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then stop looking for a job. Join company name for an adventure. Take control of your career. Help accomplish great things. See the results of your hard work. The job, videographer.
Wow.
What?
What?
A videographer has demonstrated experience as a director, sound engineer, and video editor with end products for television, DVD, or cinema. Their skills include multi-camera use, on-screen text, and graphic creation and integration, audio recording and engineering, lighting design and setup, use of stock footage, and post-production editing. They have experience with non-linear video editing hardware and software such as Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro, and Avid Media Composer. They described 3 different jobs in the title of videographer. I just want to point that out.
Yeah.
That's a cruise worth.
There's too many.
There's
red
so
flags
many
here.
red flags.
A little project based approximately $77.50 an hour, ranging from 75 an hour to 80 an hour USD, paid in the currency of residence.
Uh-huh.
They have a little thing about their company, and then a little bit of something for who they're looking for. You have approximately more than 25 years of experience in this role. You are relentless in solving problems, work well in teams, and enjoy a challenge. You are a citizen of country where the opportunity is located, or have to right to work in that country, and have completed the appropriate level of education in a relevant field. You are looking for adventure.
Are you looking
and then
for
some
adventure
stuff
chicks?
about
Wow.
sure, but I don't know if I got 25 years under the belt. They're looking for
Barely at all.
They're looking for a fucking veteran of the business, apparently,
Yeah, to pay for $75 an hour.
to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
They really want you to do, or in theory, to do everything. They're like, oh, you work with a team, but is the entire video production thing on you?
It sounds like
it, or they want you to have experience having done literally
I
every
guess for
other
$80
job
an
either way.
hour, that would because you sure are paying for 4 people's work, but maybe pay 4 people.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
holy cow! And 25 years.
25 years.
What the hell?
I think
Is that a typo?
I feel like it has to be like a typo of 2
and
to
5
5.
are not that close together.
No, but like
maybe
2 to 5.
2.5?
Yeah, or 2.5.
Oh,
Yeah, like 2-5.
Maybe they forgot
Yeah.
a dash.
because
There's a couple.
Shit.
Of
I
things
think
that
the
seem
thing
like
that
typos.
kills me is it's not only 25 years of experience, but you also need that education, as if the 25 years of experience isn't just good enough in the industry.
Yeah, no, of course not.
You should have the education at
You
that
need
point.
you
Yeah,
need
like,
15
that's the
years
thing.
of experience in a programming language that's 3 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. The opening spiel of that was already so like
What? Yeah, I got
and then 25 years of experience.
25 years of
It's just
experience.
The fucking uppercut
Shut
that knocked me to the ground. Anyways, yeah, just wanted to share that. I withheld company name.
That's fair.
But and it has
Roasted.
nothing to do. But
Wow.
I hope you enjoyed my experience in job.
I certainly
That's
did.
something.
Back to
I love
Kamen
job
Rider.
hunting. I find crap like that a lot, and maybe it's the different cultures of the different states we live in. Because over here, it's usually more about like, oh, family, our core values.
Oh, we got
of
plenty of that.
family. Okay, I figured it's probably a pretty
That one
universal
was
thing,
pretty
but because
unique.
it's like
That one was
that,
fucking
that
wild.
was special.
It was like, are you a
I'll admit.
superhero? Like literally? Will you just run into a burning building?
Are you Jesus?
Will you do that? If we ask you to do that, will you do that?
It sounds like a perfect videographer to me.
Yeah. There's a burning building.
Yeah.
Go film it. Get in there.
Get the shot. Get a good
Get the
shot.
shot.
You fucking dick. You piece of shit. Get in
We're
there.
paying you $80 an hour for it.
Not
Yeah.
this.
Gotta make a statement. Gotta make a line in the sand.
All right. Sorry for the tangent.
No, it's
Let us return.
very
to
good
Kamen
tangent. Off the back of that wonderful tangent that I have no idea if Wardsy is going to leave in or not. Welcome back to Kamen Rider. We're going to jump right back in with the other of our 2 not great episodes this time around, if we're just being honest.
This one's a Godzilla knockoff.
Yeah, this one's a Godzilla knockoff. It's Kamen Rider episode 45.
This one's very silly.
The monster Namakujira's Operation Gas Explosion. Originally aired February 5th, 1972.
Also known as Monster Name Whale's Gas Explosion.
Yeah, name
For-
whale.
Name whale.
For whatever.
Whale?
What?
I think it's supposed to be Name whale, but
Is-
how could you tell? It
Aren't
just
they
looks like it says
Namezilla?
name whale.
No.
Yeah, but until it is, but when you just read like
Okay.
the English title, it's
I know.
you have to think for a moment.
Shout out to the name Whale.
But I just don't know where they got Whale.
Me either.
Because it's Zilla.
I guess
Like
they just don't
big?
want to use Zilla.
Because, God,
All right.
Zilla's...
The subs do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a good answer for you.
Do better.
I don't know what you want from me.
25 years.
You see that burning building over there? I'm not gonna run in there.
I apologize for leaving you floundering. I was petting my cat.
No, honestly, good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
He's upset. He hasn't gotten fed because we're out of food.
Inky, he's
He is, and I can't go get him food because the fucking grocery is closed because it's midnight.
Oh, poor baby.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to get him food in the morning. He's probably not gonna let me sleep, so I'm probably calling into work tomorrow. Who knows? We'll see.
You know what I want from you, B? Is to
Huh?
to link any Kamen Rider merchandise that isn't over $500, because Jesus Christ, I want to find some.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, there is a belt that might not fit any of us because it is a child's toy that should be getting released in sometime within the next
Oh my
month.
God.
Yes,
Yeah,
sincerely.
didn't we post it last time we recorded?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was like
Get you a belt.
still super
Gamer.
expensive. Maybe. Maybe.
No,
Yeah.
only one of them. That was like the special 50th anniversary fancy one. But there is a super cheapy plastic one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this one. This $35 one. Let's go.
Unfortunately,
yes.
Gopher, the secret to your quest is that there is not a Kamen Rider toy that is going to be reasonably cheap for you to get, because no matter what, it's going to be a motherfuck to ship over here. So even if the toy was reasonably priced originally, once you account for shipping to the US from Japan, it goes up in price a bit. But there are lots of Kamen Rider toys that you should check out. Everybody else who's
Damn.
listening should check them out too.
These belts are made of metal. I need to start getting a ironsmith going.
There you go. Just make your own Kamen Rider belts.
Yeah. Because I'm already doing that with the plushies.
Exactly.
If you can't get store-bought.
There you
just-
go.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, buff Pokemon figures being recommended to me again through the Kamen
They
Rider
know.
merch. Anyway, time to get off of these websites.
Anyway, we got a podcast to do.
We have a podcast
No, we already
about
talked about
Kamen
this
Rider.
episode.
It's true. We already did. No, we have to.
Yeah, we did it.
We have to point out the small little changes.
sure?
Yeah.
Look, if you squint hard enough in that one frame, that dude's face looks like a butt.
That's true.
Whoa.
He does look like he's a little pale this episode.
Anyhow,
Oh,
you sound like you have made some form of revelation or had some form of realization, B.
no, not necessarily. And it won't really be relevant until after we get a little more into the synopsis. But you know, I know we're joking about these two episodes being basically the same, but I have to say, if I have to say which one of these is better, hands down, this is the better
Yeah,
of the two.
no, that's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the failed
yeah.
aesthetic of Bazinga's episode kind of loses it a lot of points that are not recouped by the good sword fighting.
Definitely. And there's a couple specific additions to
Mhm.
this episode that really make it a much more delightful
Yeah, this
experience.
episode is fun. So let's get into it. The episode starts at a press conference where Dr. Yajima is showing off the smallest computer brain ever made. Hayato is at the conference, and he hears about the brain's ability to maximize attributes, demonstrated with a rabbit that jumps 5 meters. Goro comments this is no good, as Shocker is going to want the brain. So let's talk about this rabbit that they throw at someone.
Kamen Rider.
The poor rabbit. Oh,
Cyber
the
freak.
poor little
He's
baby.
not normal.
They literally threw this
they
rabbit across
Definitely
the
just
room.
eat this
Sure
rabbit.
did.
And Goro almost
Super
didn't catch
did
it.
almost
It was
not catch
pretty
it.
tight.
Stop
Yeah.
Poor thing would have hit the
Stop throwing a
wall.
rabbit at a child. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Please.
Like, I know B was worried about the frog episode, but this one made me worry a lot more.
This is way worse than the
because-
frog.
Like, it's very precarious.
Oh, I hate seeing anything made before the 90s. The moment an animal appears on screen, I'm like, oh god, what's going to happen?
No, that's fair.
Because at least with the frog, the body language was not aggressively, I'm not okay with this. And sadly, that's where it is with the rabbit.
Yeah, the rabbit's super not cool with
Yeah.
I
this.
feel so bad for that rabbit.
This rabbit's not happy at all.
This rabbit is older than all of us, and I feel bad for it. This precious
Oh,
creature.
poor baby. Yes, poor baby had the Lego computer stuck inside it, and thus is a super rabbit
Yeah.
cyborg freak now, and we're all very proud
And
of
its
it.
ability to jump real good.
Good job, Rabbit.
I also want to comment on the scene when Goro's like, "Oh man, Shocker's definitely gonna want this." Like they pan up to Hayato
Mhm.
behind him, and Hayato's expression clearly reveals that this is the first time that the thought had ever dawned upon him, and it is incredible.
Is that the feeling that you got from that face?
A little bit, like it really felt like, oh my
Okay,
god, you're right.
I got a very different feeling from that face. When I
Please
saw when I saw Hayato make that face, I got the same emotion, I guess you would say, as I get every time I see that "Cowabunga it is" meme. I don't know how familiar folks are with that one, but I will at least post it in the chat for people here to peruse. And I mean, you can just Google it, but
Alright.
that's
Oh my god. Oh,
that's the
dear.
exact feeling I got seeing
Okay.
Hayato. It's like, this is no good. Shocker's gonna want
Okay.
this. Cowabunga it is.
Okay,
Cowabunga,
you know,
it
that's
is.
super fair. That I mean, to be fair though, as much as I love that take, this feels like a much more like
Yeah, that's fair. That
Hongo
is
kind of
that's a very
characterized
Hongo reaction. That is absolutely
Hayato's always been a lot more of a reactive
yeah.
character.
That's true. That's very true. It's unfortunately like a cause
don't
of
dislike.
a lot of the problems in Hayato's episodes too. In hindsight,
A little bit.
Because he's just chilling.
yeah, he's just trying to have a good time.
It's demonstrated in this episode.
Mm.
Eventually.
I don't know, I dig it. I dig that very specific point of difference in character between
Yeah,
them.
for sure.
I love that if you like so much as like cough on Hongo wrong in public, he will follow you home.
Yeah, that is absolutely the energy of Hongo. But yeah, Hayato,
Hayato would probably just make some like snide remarks
Yes.
or something.
that's
He'd probably tear you down psychologically.
yeah.
What?
Did you forget about his
Oh,
brain
he
powers?
does have cyborg telepathy.
I mean,
He
yeah,
would tear you down
yeah.
psychically. It'd be to Hongo and no one else. He'd be like, "Ooh, let me tell you about this bitch." Old dusty ass. Ooh, girl.
Tell me.
Like, I will say to a slight counterpoint of that notion, there was that Purosaurus episode where he was just haranguing that woman.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, she
that is
was
fair.
a culprit, but it was like he was not afraid to put that energy out there.
Yeah,
That's
he can
fair.
be aggro about it when
That's
he
very
wants to, but yeah, for the most part, Hayato tends to be more chill. Although Beat brings up a good point. I feel like we haven't gotten a lot of the cattiness from Hayato that we used to get. I feel like they've toned down on it a little bit, and it makes me sad.
Yeah.
A little.
I want fucking Hayato to be a bitch again.
I
That's
do
why
Yeah.
we love him.
Yes.
Just because you're a fucking bitch.
It's okay, you're one in my heart, Hayato.
Anyway,
Oh, we never.
oh, we never what?
Shoot, you're reminding me of something we didn't cover last episode because we just sort of glossed over the ending of it.
Right, yeah, the
'Cause
thing
we
with
got the unison with the twins, and they're like, see you again. But also, like, this whole argument between Hayato and Taki
Yeah,
about
which one
is
is
which
whomst?
twin. And and they have these, and he has this little silly moment where like Taki like nudges him in the gut, and he's like,
Yeah.
and he's like, oh. So we got a little
Yeah.
something, just
a little nugget.
clown behavior.
Oh, Hayato.
But that was last.
Yeah, that was last
episode.
episode.
Back
Back
to
to
this
this episode. I don't know. I think the only other thing I might want to cover in this opening bit is I just really appreciated the two fucking reporters that are like constantly haranguing this professor about shit. Like, these guys had so many questions, and then when he started explaining shit, they were like, nah, fuck you, that's not real, that can't be true. And rabbit jumping 5 meters, I'll believe it when I see it. And then the rabbit does it. And they're like, whoa, sugoi.
This girl scrambles
Yeah.
to drop this poor creature.
Are these reporters child
Yeah.
actors?
They are now. They are in my rendition
Yeah.
where I don't feel like trying.
Why?
I like the
Sugoi.
recreation.
Why?
Kamen Rider, but everybody's children.
Why?
It's like those big fat
Yeah,
Fish shows
I would-
bits where the kids reenact a political
I'm not
event.
gonna lie, I would love to watch a bunch of children recreate an episode of Kamen Rider. That sounds adorable and
Got to,
hilarious.
And then they got kidnapped by a centipede.
Yeah, that's
Oh
right.
my god.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, bud. Anyway. Yeah, maximize attributes. Yeah, at Chakra's base, Dr. Death sends out Slugzilla to steal the computer brain.
Whew.
Oof.
Fucking slug my balls over here in his in his Nickelodeon game show Shocker base.
Oh, this poor guy. Should we talk
Yeah,
about
let's
him?
get into it.
He is unfortunate. You're right.
He is unfortunate to look at, and I mean that in the kindest way possible, because the
This is a
suit
wonderful
is
suit.
great, but his if you look closely, at the top, if you keep your eyes high, he looks like he's got a slug head. He's got little eyes up there and everything. But if
Yeah.
you go down, he looks like a man in the throes of despair.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing, B. Here's the thing I cannot unsee about his horrid face.
Please tell me.
It's the ghost face mask.
Oh, fuck, you're right.
This dude is a deformed ghost face with slug eyes.
He's a melted slug ghost face.
Yeah.
Because I could see the mouth, but I never even thought
Look at
about
those
that.
eyes. Yeah. And the
Those
nose.
eyes.
I thought of him in a worse position, and oh boy.
Well, you gotta tell us now.
What's
I mean,
your favorite
there's-
scary movie?
Yeah.
Was it
right.
missionary? Because, I mean, I
What
get
is
it.
it?
That'd be pretty rough.
What's your favorite scary movie? Gopher. Gopher.
Have not seen them in a long enough time where I cannot adequately answer the question.
That's okay. I just need you to talk. Just keep talking.
Well, I'm
Okay.
sorry, V, but
We'll get through this.
there's a certain series called Shimagami Tensei, and there is a certain
Never heard of it.
there's a certain demon that named Mara,
Oh, he
Yeah.
does kind of
And-
look like Mara, huh?
and the face and the
Yeah.
head reminds me of that,
Now,
and that just made
I sort of see that, but
Yeah.
As a counterpoint.
Oh dear. Sorry, I had to go check what that
Oh,
is.
did you not know Mara?
B has just learned what Mara
Oh.
looks like.
Oh,
And if-
that's
and
not
if-
that's not family
It's
safe.
a good thing this
No,
isn't
not
a family safe
whatsoever.
podcast.
It's not a visual, but I'm
Inappropriate.
going to paint you a mental picture. Not really. You're gonna have to Google what Mara looks like to complete this sentence in your head.
Yeah.
So we know what Mara looks like. This is unspoken. We can just
Unfortunately.
yeah.
Very tempted to just say it, but I won't.
Slug
I'm being nice to
Slug
B.
looks like the appropriate companion part.
Shut up! I'm banning you from someone else's podcast. Get out.
You can't. I like shakes. I want to keep them.
Her.
Fair.
She's gonna stay, and I'm gonna listen to this horrible joke.
That's all. I wasn't gonna further elaborate on that.
Thank you.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But I see the ghost face first and foremost every time.
Yeah, no, now I see... I mean, now that B has mentioned it, I just see a very sad man.
Yeah.
It's a very.
It's very.
He's
I mean-
insanely sad.
He's sad to exist in the state that he does.
As I would be.
Please refer to Shakes's original analogy. What a horrible, wretched creature. I'm so sorry, Slugzilla.
But they roar like a Godzilla.
They do.
And I
Yeah.
do like
It does
that.
roar. It's weird. Because I feel like a slug, I wouldn't want it to yell. It's a slug. I'd want it to be sneaky and not make noise and sneak up
Yeah.
on people. But he,
Or make
he
some kind of a
roars.
slimy
No,
type
nothing
of
about
noise.
this. No, nothing about this dude actually incorporates the fact that he's a slug.
Yeah, really.
Outside of him
Yeah,
shooting
the
goo,
cream
I
beam.
guess?
And that one,
He
did
shoots
it
milk.
one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do too, but
Yeah.
that's not worth talking about.
God damn it.
Fair.
Not really.
Drops on roses and whiskers on kittens.
Anyways, we're still in the base.
Yeah.
There was like a side plot
Was there?
briefly with some crooks.
Oh yeah, I was about
Oh,
to get
yeah.
to that, but we start.
Our special guest
Yeah,
stars.
our special guest stars. We should. Kamen Rider Wiki wouldn't happen to be kind enough to tell me who these niggas are, would it? No, of course not.
I'm surprised.
I
Surprised they aren't listening.
I don't remember if they were both named. In my notes, I simply refer to them as Aniki, Crook, and Ototo Crook.
I had them written down as the Japanese wet bandits in my notes.
Wacky crooks.
It reflects on our personality.
I think I recall from my rewatch one of them being named like Tatsu, but I don't think I saw another name. Either that or if I did, it was Jin. Truly do not remember. I just kind of wrote them down as the thieves. So let's talk about them. Where was I? Yeah, Dr. Death sends out Slugzilla to steal the computer brain. We then see two thieves who decide to also steal the computer brain. That night, we watch as both the thieves and Shocker break into Dr. Yajima's home to take the brain, but as Slugzilla attempts to thwart the thieves, the alarm is sounded and both groups flee. So,
It's a very weird
yeah.
contrivance, I guess, that keeps them from
Yeah.
stealing it first.
Particularly given how the episode advances later.
Yep,
but we'll
yep.
get to that.
Yeah, no, it is proved, I guess, pointless. It seems harsh, but probably
I mean,
true.
you're right.
But it's a fun wrinkle for like a
Yeah.
second. It would have been, I guess, a little more fun if that wrinkle
Mattered.
led to a different scene. Didn't it just go? Isn't basically the next scene their second
Mhm.
attempt?
It's
Yeah.
There's a
There's
scene where
the next scene.
the actual next scene is Dr. Yajima showing them like the security system for the computer brain, and then the scene after
Pretty cool, right?
the scene after that is their second attempt.
In which they enacted what I think at least I and maybe others called, where it was just like Yeah, I mean, it sets off an alarm, but, like, there's nothing actually preventing
Yeah.
them from just, like, grabbing the thing and running, and sure
Mhm.
enough, Wacky Crooks are back, and they just grab it and run, and honestly, if the slug wasn't there, they would have gotten away
Yep.
for it.
Well, I gotten away with it too.
Sold that shit for 300 million
If it
yen.
wasn't for Shocker and their giant slug.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess we have speed ran through that next part of the synopsis. So yeah, we can just kind of
I did want to add just one quick
Go
thing.
for it.
Since we brought it up at our watch, I converted it. It is. I'm realizing now that I accidentally missed a step, but it is roughly 20 billion yen.
Whew.
Yeah.
That's
yeah, 1970s money.
Which is like, okay, yeah, I guess I would steal
yeah.
that.
I'd
sure.
risk it all. Fuck.
I mean, it is a cyborg computer
Yeah.
brain that turns you really cool and powerful if you put it in your brain. So yeah, I would hope that sells for billions
Yeah,
of
really.
dollars at this point.
If it doesn't sell for billions of dollars, we got a
Or
problem.
well, not billions of dollars, billions
Yeah.
of yen.
Well, that-
hold on.
It'd be like 200 million. Give or take.
I think the yen is up on the USD now. Because
I'm guesstimating because I'm
I
not
just-
doing
That's
the
fair.
math
I
of
just-
like 150 yen per dollar.
Exactly. Yeah, I just rounded to about 100 yen
Yeah,
per
that's fair.
dollar.
point is, fetch a pretty penny.
No
Don't
kidding.
like to do math. Give me-
I will never force you to do math, B. I'll just force you to listen to jokes about things that may or may not be appropriate.
Do the math,
Yeah,
gentlemen.
that's fair.
That's 100 million each.
I love crunchy
Crunch.
numbers.
Anyways,
We kind of glossed over the
Mm-hmm.
scene a little bit, but Slugzilla did milk both the crooks.
See, this is.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to talk about the
We
other
were
thing
getting there.
Slugzilla does. Because Slugzilla actually
Rory?
does some slug shit this episode.
Yeah, Slugzilla in their first attempt
Oh,
to mutually, unbeknownst to one another, steal the tiny brain chip, the slug flattens itself into a little pancake, and we got some like
Yeah.
blue strobe lights going on over top of it as it sinks its way below the door
It was
and
good.
into the
And some
establishment.
classic Kamen Rider. Wee wee
I-
wee 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 wee.
Yeah, I'll fully admit I was wrong. I forgot about that scene entirely. That is one entire use of being a
Yeah.
slug with no,
No
bones.
It's the
Yeah,
only one we
that's-
got.
And it was really
was.
cool. I appreciated it
super
at the
neat.
time because like the lighting does go a long way because all they are doing is just sliding a flat slug person, like thing under a door.
Like a rug.
Yeah,
Slug
it's
on a
just
rug.
like, it's some plastic, like a deflated balloon, like it looks like that clearly, but like you get the wavy dark blue and red lights going around it. It
Got a wee
adds.
wee 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 wee.
The
Probably
light
could have been
makes
like
it.
5 seconds
Mm.
shorter, but
It lingered over
It
a
took a
long
while.
time. But yeah, he does a slug thing, and in their second attempt, when the crooks actually managed to take the chip because there was apparently nothing
There
stopping
truly
them in
was
the first
nothing.
place, the slug also realizes this, and Milks are two new fun guys. They're
still not the
they're
verb.
fun.
Yeah,
Still not the
was
verb
gonna
you
say,
should
you might
use
wanna-
in therapy.
He sprayed them with this milk. He's
Okay,
you
here's
go.
the thing.
Milk out at
B
them.
is that spraying milk at someone and milking someone are two very different actions.
Those are different
Yeah.
verbs.
Listen, sometimes I don't know. Sometimes men do lactate under extreme stress.
I mean,
It
same,
happens.
but like, come on. Put me under
Alright.
extreme stress and you can get some milk out of there, but
Hormonal reaction.
yeah,
It's perfectly
well,
natural.
I'm pretty hormonal at the time.
Mhm.
Anyway, Slugzilla hits him with the cream beam. Which,
It's so we can see them better because everybody's
yeah, it's fucking
wearing
black and black at night.
and Hongo or not Hongo, Hayato and Taki are also wearing dark
Yeah,
blues.
Hago's in dark blue. At least Taki is in like a light, like a baby blue, so he's a little more visible, especially
little
with the
easier.
red scarf. But like, you can't see half of the people in this scene, and it fucking
Nobody
sucks.
dressed for this. There's a great scene where they're supposed to be like, I think, surrounded
Yeah.
at the gate, and it's this kind of wide shot. So I'm assuming they were meant to like be totally encircled with shocker
You
guns.
can't tell.
You can't see anything. Not a damn
It's just a
person.
mass
is
of black.
You just have to trust them that they're going, oh, we're trapped.
Maybe that's why they did it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, there's way more. Take our word for it.
Yeah.
it's like
They
3
needed
dudes.
this night shoot, but they can only get like 4 people.
It's hard to get people to work nights. Yes, I know.
Show business, baby.
I love
They
these
also
thieves.
did a Scooby Doo
They did.
jump.
Yeah.
The thieves are pretty
The thieves
good.
are great.
Yes. I like
I'm
them.
actually kind of disappointed that there is no comment in the Kamen Rider wiki as to who they were, because my guess was that they were like a popular comedy duo of the time that got to guest star on an episode of Kamen Rider, all of the new Scooby-Doo movies, but can't confirm.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Cause yeah, they were hamming
Yeah.
it up. They were being goofballs.
great.
But they were still like competent actors. So it was like, there you go. And then they got covered in
Mhm.
milk, and that was just it. They didn't even have like they freeze. I guess they're
I
dead.
have no truly.
I was kind of expecting that to be a thing followed up upon.
They don't.
Like, oh, we got to unparalyze these guys. No. They're left on the
No.
ground to die. No.
So now that we've jumped through like half of the synopsis, Screws too tight. Yeah,
Record
really.
Time.
Yeah, might as well.
Damn.
It's like we said, this plot is about to get very familiar.
How it's good, but
Like you've heard it
We've-
at
I
least
think
once
we've
before.
covered all the unique aspects of this episode, because from here on,
Yeah.
it is
pretty much.
it's-
I think this line I am about to say in the synopsis is like the last unique aspect. So here we go. Back at Shocker's base, Dr. Death explains his plan to use the computer brain on Slugzilla to amplify his powers so he can blow up gas holders. They kidnap Midori, Dr. Yajima's daughter, and have her feed a tranquilizer to Dr. Yajima, Hayato, and Taki. But Taki gives himself and Hayato an FBI antidote. Hayato and Taki wait until night to see what Shocker's plan is and watch as Midori steals the computer brain. Hey, does this sound
Yeah,
familiar,
so-
guys?
I think we're in a rut.
Like,
Damn.
Unhand her, Dan Shockside! Unhand her, Dan Shockside!
Commander Dr. Death.
Confound those Kamen Riders!
It's exactly the same situation where the plan is the
Mhm.
same on paper, but the methodology for both aspects of the plan are also completely
Yep.
shifted.
We're brainwashing the girl again. Different method this time.
We're brainwashing a kid. Yeah, we put her in the
Yeah.
fun chair with the Christmas lights in front
Yeah.
of her eyes.
Put her in the fucking epileptic shock chair.
Yeah, seriously.
We once again have another instance of broad daylight
Mhm.
kidnapping.
Yeah, this poor girl just gets
just
scooped.
right at the roller skate park.
At least, like, I don't know if this makes it better or worse, but like, she wasn't just like silently snatched away. They grabbed the kid, and she was like, "Help! Help me, someone!"
People are like,
Yeah.
none of my business.
I guess so. Goro was,
Girl
Goro
was
was
off
with
being a
this
gentleman.
girl
Yeah,
for-
he was getting food.
as of like 5 seconds
He
ago.
skated off.
He skated
And yeah,
away.
he was being a sweet little gentleman. He was like, "I always get snacks for
Yeah.
ladies." Just like that. Sorry.
Turned him
I
into
don't
a
know.
fucking
Yeah.
small
the
monk doll.
delivery.
Wouldn't want to disappoint the ladies.
I'm so sorry. This is quite late.
no, it's great. It's a variety of energy from all of us
I love it.
as it approaches 1
cool.
a.m.
Various times.
1 a.m. for you. It's
Yep.
even 11 p.m. for Shakes.
It's late, y'all.
Yeah.
That was the time estimate. I
Yeah.
hope you enjoyed the time
Yeah.
estimate.
Yeah. Congratulations. This is the new segment. It might never return. Let us know in the comments. If we get 100 comments...
If it returns, we're in a
Yep.
bad spot.
Yeah.
Wait, comments about
Just
what?
in general.
No, if we get 100 comments...
If you're listening right now, post a comment below. Tell us what
Yeah.
time it is.
Yeah. And if we get 100 of these...
I'll read your comments.
Yeah?
We'll bring...
Get every single one of your comments.
Okay.
Just put them in there.
Yeah, and then we'll bring this segment back if there's 100 people who comment the time, and then we'll just do these growly teeth voices as we read out what time it
Do we
is
have to?
or was when you put this comment.
So
I'm
this got
scared.
a new development suddenly for no reason.
Every single time. You comment, we'll say it next time, and then you comment, and then we'll say it next time, and then we'll do it again.
Okay.
So they got a
Kamen Rider.
Yeah, so they're getting drugged with that
Yeah.
tea. So this scene also is one of those things that is just so like fucking wacky and like what the hell were you thinking with the execution of this scene? And I'm not complaining because it was really funny. But like
I think Shakes and I are thinking of the same
they
thing.
have this whole situation where she's drugging the tea. And you know, Goro and the doctor take their big sippies and get knocked the fuck out because they're idiots. And Taki and Hayato are clearly suspicious of the situation as they're sipping. They're not taking as big a sippies, but they are taking sippies apparently. Because like as soon as she leaves, they're like, well, this is fucked. They clearly put tranquilizers in our drinks. They say this while clearly unaffected, to which I would think like, we're so clever. We didn't actually sip. We were just pretending to sip. No, they sipped, and then Taki's just like, hey, good thing I brought these FBI antidotes.
You just say Altoids, Taki. You fucking dick.
Generic ass
Yeah.
pills with an FBI look.
Yeah.
It's a
Pop one of
beautiful
these.
scene.
Yeah. Oh, these pills are banging. What is that?
Cocaine, baby. It's the 70s. We do cocaine and cocaine accessories.
I'll
And then
tell you
Hayato's
what,
just
this
like,
soup
fuck
ain't
it.
right.
We'll just let her go.
Yeah.
Just let her deliver the thing to the guys. They'll slip up
Yeah.
eventually. And then
Yeah,
he goes
Taki's
back
like,
to
shouldn't we stop her? And Hayato's like, no, we're gonna see what she's up to. They'll have to mess up at some point.
If only to give him the benefit of the doubt, since I wrote this down in the synopsis, they specifically say, Hayato specifically says that he wants to see how they are controlling Midori. Which does not help much.
We have solved this before without Shocker's
just
involvement.
throw her against
Yeah,
the
just
grave.
slam her into just slam in
Yeah.
the back of her Dragula. Sneak through the ditches and burn through the witches.
Yeah, it's that easy.
Get a cheeseburger.
Do it, baby.
Earn yourself a cheeseburger, Taki. Come on.
Earn yourself a cheeseburger today.
Go beat up a child.
It's such a weird thing where he's just like, I guess we, like, it felt like he was looking at the camera and going, well, we're only halfway through the episode.
We gotta do more episodes.
We can't
so.
actually go to the base. We're just gonna wait until the finale starts happening because they don't solve her issue.
They sure don't.
Sort of. Well, they sort of do. I guess we can cover that next of what happens when she comes back.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, yeah, I think that's like exactly what's next. Yeah, Hayato says to stay put so they can see how Midori was being controlled. At Shocker's base, they attempt to. Oh yeah, there's this bit. At Shocker's base, they attempt to install the computer brain, but they are unable to. So they use a communicator on Midori to explain they have brainwashed her to get Dr. Yajima's help. The doctor agrees, and he drives to Shocker's base, not knowing Taki is in his trunk and being tracked by Tachibana with a receiver he has. Dr. Yajima, good.
I remember this scene. This scene is so funny because they're driving And she's got the little necklace that he's using as a communicator. He's giving her GPS to her.
How far am I supposed to go? At the next light, turn right.
Make the next right.
If you see the Chrysler building, you've gone too far.
And then Tachibana's just, or not Tachibana, sorry, Taki's
Yeah,
in the back. I thought it was gonna be both of them, and I was disappointed that they weren't just
Spooning in the fucking trunk.
two in
Yeah.
in the trunk.
Don't know how long we're gonna be back here,
Oh
so.
well, can't get
Yeah, that's
everything I
fair.
want.
But we do get fucking Tachibana and the Mr. Rogers fit GPS tracking Taki, so we get some things.
That is
It's
pretty
really
funny.
good. Where do we go from there? Not knowing Taki's in the trunk. Yeah, Dr. Ajima upgrades Slugzilla and is brought with his daughter to see its new power. He is then, okay. I wrote this differently than the way I was reading it. Dr. Yajima upgrades Slugzilla and is brought with his daughter to see its new power when he is rescued by Taki. Slugzilla and Shocker run away to continue the plan, but are attacked by Hayato and Taki, who defeat them. Yeah, I mean, it's really just kind of... We watch Slugzilla turn the cream beam into Yoga Fire. He sets a pillar on fire.
That part's
Milk
pretty
Yeah,
become
Milk-
fire.
Milk 2, the sequel to Milk. Fire now.
That's why when you warm up your milk, it's milk 1.5.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming
Whoa.
to my TED Talk.
Thank you for hosting this TED Talk.
You're welcome.
Are you taking any questions?
Yes.
That's good. I don't have
You
any.
fucking dick.
Well, you-
I'm running a podcast, you piece of shit. I'll kill you, motherfucker. I'll pee on your corpse. Anybody else got any fucking bits they want to do? What's your question, you asshole?
Yes.
Are you happy?
Boo.
Oh. No.
Are you having fun?
A
Kind
little
of.
bit. I'm having fun because I'm with my friends.
I'm gonna go now.
Hi. How you doing? Wait, how you
I'm
doing?
good. I'm good.
Oh, that's good.
I got stuff to do.
Oh, well, good luck with your stuff. How's your family?
There.
They're gone.
He keeps staring at me. He keeps looking at his bowl. And then he walks over to me and he
He's
stares
an
at me.
angel and a baby, and I love
Mr.
him.
Popo, come
Okay.
over to my house for the evening. We'll give you mac and cheese.
I can't. You can't. Don't feed my
So-
cat mac and cheese.
That's fine.
The final,
You'll get
the final fight.
Yeah, the final
two
fight.
noodles.
Taki
Oh yeah,
threw
Taki
a
threw
guy.
dude off of the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had that written down. We got that big ass railing kill off that because they're fighting on gas
Yeah.
tanks because we didn't cover that the plan was to use this yoga fire on the
No, we
gas
did.
tanks and blow them up.
Yeah,
We did mention
the
it.
part where the part where
Barely
Dr.
a
Death
part.
is like, I wanted to upgrade
My
you,
apologies.
but I couldn't.
I was really hoping that this ragdoll mook that Taki threw off of the top of the tower, because the shot they use is like from down on the ground, and it catches like a railing down below in the foreground.
Yeah,
And I was really hoping that this ragdoll mook would come down and hit it, you know, all like Javert breaking his back on the railing. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. But it was still pretty cool.
excellent pull.
That scene makes me lose my mind every time I see it. Like, it's so
Fucking
funny.
2460E. Make me a sandwich. No.
Why on earth? Why did they show this like close up of Javert splitting his back in half like a Ritz cracker? He's so fragile. Why did they do that?
Yeah.
Brutal.
Cinematography.
So stupid. This man literally just saying to us about how his life just holds no more meaning and he can't take it anymore. His enemy has spared his life and he doesn't know how to go on. And then they just
And then
show
we
that.
watch him crack himself like an egg.
It's. I will say though, My hot take is that's still probably people really hate on Russell Crowe as Javert, and I
thought
get
he
it.
did fine.
But also, I think that might be one of my favorite renditions of Javert's suicide is that
That's
version.
fair.
Because
I'm sorry, I think it's really funny.
well, outside of that, until it gets to that part, because I see how that can be very divisive and silly. But
Like,
but the
outside-
actual performance of the song and the the film's use of him acting and emoting in that scene, and it's a lot subtler, and I like that better.
It's pretty good, and I mean, I know people fuss, but while I do think, like, I think the role is a little weird. It's a weird range for him. Russell Crowe is not a bad singer, and he does have, like, a long history of singing. The dude's in a band. The guy's been in a band for
didn't even know that.
decades. He's a great singer.
I think I think his voice is fun. Like
He's a good singer.
I
People give him
never
crap,
understood why people
but
give him crap.
they should give him crap for other reasons.
they should give the rest of that movie crap for a lot of
That's
reasons.
fair.
It's not a
For
great
a lot of horrible
adaptation.
reasons. I have a lot of issues with that movie outside of just like the adaptation itself. But that's probably
I
for
feel like
another
I
podcast.
need to see another version of that movie just to see if
Let's
my
just talk
issues
about
with it
movies.
are that version specific or the issue that I ended up having towards the end of that movie, which was just I got sick of listening to people sing.
Oh,
Yeah,
bad
no, I
news,
know.
buddy.
Yeah.
It's a fucking musical.
Well, okay, but here's the thing.
And also, but even for a musical, yeah,
Like that's
I
the
know.
thing. Is for there are
Les Mis
other
is
musicals
weird.
where they do not sing that much. Like
Well,
it's like
if-
it's like a weird opera
there's one
thing.
thing
I
you gotta
know.
root for.
It's just like like no scenes where we talk, only sing. And it's like fucking please, can we have some dialogue that breathes? I'm begging you.
No. No.
It's also just for that reason it doesn't apply that very well into its own medium.
Yeah.
Either. So like you've also just witnessed a poor execution of that idea. But
If you
yes,
want words, you gotta read the original Victor Hugo. He'll meander
Please, God,
for
no.
decades.
You're
You'll
right.
get all the words you want.
he will talk forever.
Victor Hugo will tell you about like the fourth cousin removed
can't-
from
I
some
can't.
side character who's gonna be here for like 2 chapters and
I
doesn't
read
even have
To
a
Kill a
middle name.
Mockingbird once. I can't do this shit again.
That
I
is
know
not
it's
Victor
not, but it
Hugo.
has the same issue.
You
It's-
just
I
hate
like
reading.
reading.
Is it some?
Yeah,
I love
probably.
reading. I hated To Kill
Is
a
it some
Mockingbird
dark-
because
There's pictures.
I hated To Kill a Mockingbird because it is very good in capturing the voice in which it is attempting to be written in, which is a very traditional Southern drawl that does not stop speaking ever. Reading that book is like talking
is-
to someone's grandma, where 15 minutes feels
To
like
be fair-
an hour. I want to kill myself reading that book.
I understand, but to be fair, it is written from the perspective of a 10-year-old girl telling the story of how her
No,
brother got
I
his
get
arm
it.
broken.
I get it. I fucking credit where credit is due to Kill a Mockingbird because it is written excellently, and in that excellence, I want to fucking kill myself. I cannot.
That's kind of how I felt like that about the Scarlet Letter, but I just have like a hard time with Victorian literature
fair.
in general. Like I remember towards the end of the novel when things are really starting to ramp up towards the climax, they just devote an entire chapter to talking about how
God
great
damn
the
it.
town is, and that pissed me off. It was wild.
Is it? Is it like Charles Dickens where he's paid by the word? And so he just meanders about like a single bank that you'll see like twice and for like 3 pages
I
straight.
didn't know Charles Dickens was paid by the word. That makes so much sense.
Yeah. Yeah, right?
This explains a lot
Like-
all of a sudden.
Yeah. Yeah.
What were we talking about?
I was only
It
going to
doesn't
use one
explain
ghost,
anything.
but I could get triple the money.
It does not explain anything about
No, it
Kamen
doesn't.
Rider, though.
No,
I mean,
I mean,
boy howdy, that ragdoll did not hit
No.
that bar, and we that was a
I'm-
lot to say. That ragdoll did.
we didn't get a Javert cracking himself like an egg, unfortunately.
It's a
I
shame.
really wanted him to crack open right in the foreground. It would have been beautiful.
What we did
We got
get
stunts.
was some nice stunts, stunting on some real ass gas tanks.
A little scary.
Yeah, a little terrifying. And some good camera angles on those. They like were on a higher platform on an adjacent gas tank, shooting the further gas tank. So you had kind of that was still like an aerial view, even though you're up so high. And that was cool because you could also see the the neighboring construction yard that clearly had people working in it. So those people got to witness some filming. Some stunts.
The comments that we made in the episode
they probably
became
watched
surprisingly
that guy
apt.
fall off the thing.
About what would you do if you saw four men in black just break into a gas tank, and then you saw them meet up with a slug man, you'd be like, oh, okay. This is like a thing.
Okay.
I forgot I brought that up during the viewing. Yeah, I said that I would be very suspicious until I saw them meet up with the giant slug man.
Because then it's for a thing, obviously.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah, if I just see like a bunch of guys dressed entirely in black, like climbing this gas tower, I'd be like,
no, yeah, that's sus as shit.
But then but then a giant slug man shows up,
okay.
and then it's like, oh, they're doing something over there. It's fine.
That's silly. They also got
Yes.
cameras.
Silly willies.
Yeah, a lot of fighting on there. There was a really funny cut for their rider kick or whatever when Kamen Rider was jumping off.
Yeah, he jumps off the narrow ass
stairs.
stairs.
They had to make do. He's jumping off some narrow ass stairs, but he can't actually do that, and he wants to be safe, so he does the tiniest little hop, and I maybe our eyes are just too keen. I don't know, but they were trying to save that as best they could because he just does a tiny hop, and they zoom in really quickly and then cut so they can try to convey a bigger sense of motion, but I was just looking at how tiny that hop was.
I got to.
Yeah, no,
I
there
just
was-
stared at how
everything.
barely his feet lifted off of the ground. I think.
Looking back at it, he also jumps in the opposite direction of where the momentum is supposed to be going, so it works even less. But
Oh, I hope someone got fired for that blunder.
yeah, and like, there's was some interesting cuts this set of episodes.
They
We
did
didn't-
what they could.
We skimmed past it, but on the last episode, like the final shot, pretty much, it cut from the kids walking away.
Oh, yeah.
Like hard cuts from them walking away, pans about maybe 3 feet to the right, and then has Hayato coming on his motorcycle. And so it just breaks so many rules of how you're supposed to do like movement in film. And
Rules that were not yet
it's
established at the time of the creation of this episode of Kamen Rider. I'm going to assume.
I think they might have established
That's
those.
fair.
I
pretty
mean,
early.
maybe, but also it's kind of like, damn, the heavier thing that probably will go on the bottom goes on the bottom, right? Like that's the rule of art for balance, and it's probably like the same thing. It's just intuitive.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah, I don't know. I noticed a lot of other weird cuts, but I won't ping them for that because it mostly relates to the child.
Very fair.
The choreography of this and the ending of this fight is a little odd too. He like rider kicks the slug, and like everybody's here for some reason. Like the rider girls
And
showed
girl.
up, and Tachibana changed into his kick-ass jacket.
We watched Tachibana beat the
He
shit
got out
out of
of Mr.
someone
Rogers.
in the background.
Yeah, it was so weird because they're like running in from the background, and they just take care of some mooks, and then just like show up in stage center and just like, hey guys, what's going on? And then he kicks a slug into them, and just he goes over the railing into the crowd. The crowd takes a bump.
Shout out to Invisible
And
Man
then he
versus Invisible
rolled-
Stan.
Yeah. And then, and then he hits him with the double
Yeah.
rider throw,
Not as
That's a new one.
which is a rider throw, I guess.
But two.
But they cut it so he does it twice. He gives him the dirty double. Yeah, it's like a thing, but there's two of it.
double it. You know how I Rider throw? One of two of those. How's that one treat you? But
It's a very satisfying thing because he lands behind a pile of dirt and then they set off the explosion and cut.
It's very good. my note I put for that was just, damn, they didn't lie. That Rider can throw twice.
Yeah, I have a very similar note.
Dog, he really do be throwing too.
Shoot.
With that being said, I don't know, do we have any more notes for this episode, for these episodes? Hit me with it, B.
I do. I have one more note at the end of my notes for episode 45, and it reads, "Where's Hongo?"
I mean, I wasn't sure if you wrote that down because you definitely just said it out loud.
I was doing them simultaneously.
Well, I have about 2.5 Hongos on my shelf.
There you go. Gopher's got him.
Yeah.
There he is.
Yeah.
Half go.
Yeah, that's just called Hongo.
This one's home, this one's go.
Before you ask, yes, Han is French.
My fist. That's what I name my biceps. Was this the episode where they do that funky thing where it's like, "Where's Kamen Rider?" and they all look around and then no, that was the
that was Old Man.
They did the thing where it was like, "Where's Kamen Rider?" Everybody's looking around and then Hayato comes up behind Tachibana.
They do it.
and they just share this.
Yeah, they just smile at each other like
they do it a little bit in this. But...
Man.
Oh, Hayato. What did I miss?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's why my fucking note at the end of the fucking Bazinga episode is, "Oh, you."
Yeah.
God.
There was so much of that.
Yeah, it's that exact energy.
That's the only thing
I have
that's all I got.
one more note.
Please.
And this isn't specific for most of, or not specific to the episode, just the general bit of the show. I was trying to find who the thieves were in this episode, and they don't seem to have IMDb pages, so probably not very popular. Because usually more predominant figures do. But I was just surprised at how low rated this original series is critically.
Is it really?
Yeah. Without Googling, what number do you think they'd give it?
Out of what?
10.
Out of 10?
Yeah.
Maybe like a 4.5, 5 out of 10.
I'm going to say 6.5 to 7.
Shakes, what you got?
I mean,
5.
For this episode particularly, or just the series as a whole that we've watched so
Is
far?
that what you're asking? What are you
This
asking?
series?
I'm asking for the series as a whole.
My rating was for series.
5.
Okay. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. Surprisingly, actually, you're quite on. Where it's just like 5 6s, and I don't know. I was expecting more than that. The highest rating it got was the first episode, the 7.6. I'm just like, that seems low. Why does Chameleon Man have such a low score? I don't understand.
I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things where, and I'll admit I get a little huffy about this personally, but I feel like a lot of people critiquing media do so without any understanding of the context of their creation.
Yeah.
Like, and it's especially worse when it comes to, like, video games. Like, when a lot of people will, like, rate video games that came out, like, 20 years ago as if they came out today, and they're like, "Oh, the controls are janky,"
no shit,
and it's
dude.
like, well...
They know what the fuck they were doing.
Is it... Yeah, like, it's an old-ass console. Come on, it's not gonna feel like VR. I don't know what you want. But...
There's Well, I don't know. I was gonna say for
Like,
video games,
obviously-
sometimes there's a certain degree to expect, but
Obviously, there's a certain degree, but it comes with the knowledge of what to expect
Mhm.
from that context. You know,
It
like
was a
you
very
can
new
judge.
medium.
Yeah, absolutely, and I like. I'm not going to say Kamen Rider is a perfect piece of
Oh
work,
goodness,
but
No.
it's an incredibly prolific one, an incredibly experimental one as well. And I feel like there are things to be appreciated about that as like one of the progenitors of the genre. It is a part of. I feel
I'd
like
even go so far as to say the genre it helps
I am-
create. Because, I mean, if you think about it, other
Yeah.
than before Kamen Rider, all there really was in this genre was, like, Ultraman and the Godzilla movies. And I think I think
and-
especially specifically because those kind of lie in that subset of tokusatsu of the kaiju show and movie, where it's more specifically about like a big monster that is doing all the terrorizing and everything. So I think truly without the creation of Kamen Rider as a show like this, I don't think we would have gotten tokusatsu like anything else. We wouldn't have gotten Sentai, which means we wouldn't have gotten Power Rangers. We wouldn't have gotten Garo. We wouldn't have gotten so many shows that have come out and so many things that have been inspired by those shows that come out. This is just like a genre that maybe wouldn't exist, I feel like, if this TV show didn't come out the way that it did.
Yeah, and like, I know this is more of a merit in hindsight kind of thing, but I feel it's fair to give credit where credit's due in that regard, where yes, like, this show doesn't entirely hold
No, of
up to
course not.
modern standards, or even some standards of the time, but I clearly it was a big landmark in a lot of ways, and I don't know. I feel like those are things that are worth appreciating.
Yeah.
I can appreciate ingenuity even if it doesn't work out completely smoothly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just kind of weirded out by that because I'm like, oh yeah, ratings exist and these were rated, but like, I don't know. It just seemed weird because I'm like, there is a lot, like, I feel like there's an interesting amount of range when it comes to quality within Kamen Rider, but most of them are ranked pretty similarly. Where it's like, this episode was rated just as well as Chameleon Man, which I'm like, what do you...
Yeah, no, not even remotely.
merits are you rate? Like, I can understand rating it low, but like, to rate them low, but also rate them the same amount of low, I'm just kind of curious on the merits of how it is. But
I don't think it was being thought about that much.
yeah, probably.
Yeah, in my experience as a big kaiju fan, I have to say that. Oh, and I guess also as a slasher movie fan,
or just horror movies in general, honestly.
I guess I'm just very used to people either one not being capable of suspending their disbelief for the sake of having a half decent time watching something. And I totally understand not suspending your disbelief to a certain degree, and I know that will definitely vary from person to person, but like when you go into certain like movies or shows or whatever, like you know what you're getting into to a certain extent, so it's like, oh, I watched this slasher movie and the guy got shot in the stomach and he was still coming. It's like, well, yeah, that's if he went down too easy, then we wouldn't have a movie.
You're watching a man in a metal ski mask in space or whatever the hell. Like, it's gonna.
I love Jason X. Oh my god.
It's gonna be stupid. Like.
Wait, were you specifically referencing Jason X, or is this just a fun coincidence? Okay.
Yeah, really. When you're coming in on a movie called Jason X, I assume like a level of stupidity is expected. That's kind of part of the fun.
Oh, it's incredible.
Oh, by then,
Yeah.
for sure.
And I guess I'm
incredible.
just kind of curious because I know that there's people. There was one review I saw a while ago where it's like, I really hated this game. It's really bad. I don't like JRPGs, and it was a JRPG, and then someone
The
was
classic
like,
donkey problem.
they tried to back that opinion up as if it was fact based and saying that this is an objectively bad game based on that, and it's just like, I wonder if that kind of bleeds through. I don't
That's a
know.
good question.
Uh,
Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially in like game reviews.
Yeah.
As someone who reads a lot of visual novels,
Mm.
I see that a lot because they're still not like super mainstream in the West, and thus a lot of people kind of know generally a bit better about what they are, but your average gamer
Yeah.
doesn't know too much about them. But
Too much reading.
I guarantee you, like 9 times out of 10, when you go to a visual novel on Steam and you read through the reviews, you're gonna find at least a couple under every visual novel that'll be like, okay, well, if you like reading, this is okay, but like, I don't know, there wasn't really like any gameplay. Like, all you do is sit there
It's
and
because
read.
it's not a
and I'm
game,
like,
it's a
bro,
fucking book, dog. Pay attention.
I'm not gonna buy an FPS and be mad
Shoot.
that I point
Yeah.
and click at stuff. Like,
There's not a lot of rating in this FPS.
Where's my character
Yeah, this is
development?
bullshit.
Man, I should just
Where's-
get. I kind of want to leave reviews on every game that isn't a visual novel, saying it should be more like a visual novel.
Oh,
Do
that
it,
would be
yeah.
refreshing.
This is not my mission.
Shout out.
I'll forget about it after we stop
Needs-
recording.
Shout outs to
Uh,
that Valhalla review. It's just too much clicking, not recommended.
This was a lot of salt we're just dumping out here, and I apologize to everybody listening. I just have strong feelings about, like, if you're going to review something in a way that isn't constructive, or even in a way you do think is constructive, perhaps take a moment to take into consideration the context under which this thing was created, and understand its genre, understand its medium, and try to understand at least what you can grasp as a consumer of the product, what the intention may be, whether you agree with it or not.
Yeah. And to bring it back to Kamen Rider a little.
Please.
That is to say, all the way. Because I did want to raise the point. Well, branching off of B's context thing. I think the flaws of the show are, like, at least 50% of why we're watching.
A little bit.
Right?
That's fair.
I feel like everything wrong with this show is, like, half of why I enjoy it. And not in a, like, I make fun of it way. Like B said, there's the context to everything. This is how it all began. This is the process of where it began. If we wanted to watch, like, we're gonna watch a great Kamen Rider and have a great time watching a well-constructed show, we would have watched any
Truly,
of the modern
yeah,
Kamen Riders.
I could recommend
There's
4
so
for you
many
right
we
off the
could've
bat.
went.
Like I promise you.
We got the guy right here. But, like,
O's
I definitely was the one pushing original Kamen Rider partially because I just love seeing where it starts. But, like, because I love seeing where it starts because it's always like this. You like shows this old are aliens.
Yeah.
They aren't anything we know anymore. The cultural context of where this was created and who created it and what the people thought was okay and what people just did and how they figured out how to do things is all. It's a different world. It is a different planet from what we live in right now, and that is why I watch it. Because it's fascinating. Also, we like seeing Hongo and Hayato kick a guy.
Yeah.
But, like,
Love them.
That's important to me. And, like, you can just say, like, it's kind of shitty because it is.
But that's part of the charm of it. I like very much so to your point, as someone who has watched, the Kamen Rider that is well constructed and well thought out and is, like, actually a good show or whatever the fuck you want to say about it. It's it is so fascinating and it is so cool to watch this show and see how insanely different things are, and then also to see kind of poking through, like a little silver lining, just little trickles of like, hey, I recognize that. Hey, I recognize that. Hey, I recognize that.
It's kind of like watching evolutionary scales.
Yes.
Like this thing became this thing, but you would never fucking guess that, right? Now that you're looking at this fish, like that became a human. What?
Thanks, bud.
I can kind of see it now that I'm looking at this fish for a while, but like,
you got the mind,
right? And and that's the that's the neat thing for me is I get to see the fish. I've seen the human. I know the human. I've analyzed the human, and now I'm looking at this fish, and I'm like, damn, this thing is wild. But also, I recognize that bone. I see where that bone. I see where that bone moved to. That shifted. That became a thigh. That became a hip. That became part of the spinal column. It's so cool getting to watch all of the building blocks, truly legitimately the building blocks for a franchise so prolific that 50 years later it is still going. It is still actively making new episodes and airing and putting content out there. And to be able to go back and just watch the progenitor, the very first, the absolute gamble shot too, truly, and you can tell with a lot of what they do where they are fucking gambling. They are hoping this works. They are fucking throwing spaghetti at the wall and trying to see if it sticks because they need this show to work. And it did somehow.
Yeah.
Despite everything, despite all of the things that we can criticize the show about, despite some of the weird choices that get made, despite some of the poor within episode continuity, this show worked. And people were like, yeah, keep doing it. Keep doing it for years and years. It's just
okay.
It's super cool to watch that and be able to just like break it apart and consume it and just like see where it all began. Really is it's super interesting because like Shake said, this show is I even like to say the show is alien from say like Heisei Phase 1 Kamen Rider is entirely fair, but you compare this to any of the like last 3 series that have come out and you probably couldn't be convinced that you were watching the same show because shit's so different now. It's so insanely different now. And it's so cool to be able to see where it started, to see where it ended, and also to be able to, through little glimpses, through little clips, through little GIFs and things seen online and everything, kind of be able to work your way up the pipeline and see, oh, I see how this turned to this. I see how this turned into this. I see how they tried something new here. It's super cool to be able to walk through the history of a 50-year-old show and kind of just get to dissect it. And that's part of the reason why I'm super, like, as much as I am enjoying Ichigo and I am enjoying going through it, I'm really excited to get done and like start watching some of the other Kamen Riders with you guys to see what you think about them and see how you kind of digest the huge changes that can be made. Because things get so different in such a unique way, but I think the very cool and the very important thing is that the show never forgets where it comes from. This show, especially at any point where there is like a big anniversary for Kamen Rider, like for instance this year with it being the 50th anniversary, this show will always make a point to pay homage and to pay reverence to original Kamen Rider because it has a lot of respect for original Kamen Rider because it, like I said, it's the progenitor. I don't, I still don't think there would be a tokusatsu genre as we know it now without Kamen Rider, and I think at least Kamen Rider still cares about that, if nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that's proven with that, like, especially on their 50th with that movie coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if there has ever been a love letter to Kamen Rider from people who remember day one episode 1
Mhm.
Kamen Rider,
Yeah,
that's
really.
it.
So
I
excited
am
for
too.
Shin Kamen Rider. And like even disregarding like big projects like that, even seeing like I've seen a couple like clips on YouTube or on Twitter, what have you, of various like 50th anniversary specials with
Mhm.
the original actors, which is really
Yeah.
really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like I saw something not too long ago of like Hongo's actor, and I think the guy who sings the intro after they cycle out Hongo's actor having sung it, and they both sang Rider Kick, and Hongo was out there like fighting shocker moves
Oh,
while
that
he was
sounds
singing, and then
awesome.
he had a transformation. It was so
I can't
cool.
believe I didn't see that. You, please, I hope you. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to
please.
try to
I would
hunt it
love
down.
to see
I would
that.
love to see it too.
And we'll
Oh,
put
for
it
sure.
on the Twitter for everybody if I can find it. But yeah, I just makes me happy to see I guess the legacy of something so prolific being so cherished. I feel like it's easy to look back at something that is seen as prolific, give it a chance, and be like, man, this sucked. How did they love it? Because like, I feel like I've done that with things in my own like childhood. Now that I'm an adult, I go back and watch like things I watched as a kid, and I was like, wow, this actually kind of sucked, but I like this. But
What was I
Like-
thinking?
what was I thinking? I had terrible taste. But like, I don't. I think we just have to remember that
Mm-hmm.
things were different during those times when they came out, and the fact that you loved it then doesn't necessarily, doesn't have to conflict with you maybe not resonating with it now. Well, I'm going off on a different tangent entirely. I realize suddenly. Oh no. Anyway, even if Kamen Rider Ichigo isn't the greatest TV series in the world, even if you go and watch it thinking it's going to be the coolest thing ever because it has such a legacy, and it turns out that it's kind of a really weird, rough around the edges experimental show, that doesn't necessarily
Yeah,
mean anything
if
bad
anything,
about
I
it.
almost think that Ichigo is kind of better for being so experimental, especially because I think it helps lend towards the sort of experimental nature of Kamen Rider now. One thing that I will say that I really like about Kamen Rider, especially the newer stuff where they've gotten into this more it's a streamlined kind of methodical. They've really got their process down at this point, but they aren't. There'll be little things, there'll be tropes, there'll be certain scenes, there'll be, things that are kind of now sort of hallmarks of the genre, I would say, that will get repeated. But aside from that, they still do a really good job of keeping every series fresh and unique and its own thing, kind of totally divorced from any of the other series, almost to the point where it's like, you look at any 2 Kamen Rider seasons and you're like, wait a minute, this is the same show? This is the same that's been running since the 70s? Because you wouldn't be able to tell. And I think it's really cool, the fact that they're willing to take those chances like that and make a show that is so different from like iteration to iteration while still being able to follow this formula that they've laid out. And I have to wonder if they would have... Actually, if anything, I'd go so far as to say we have kind of confirmation and proof that they wouldn't. Because I feel like, Sentai started out a little more genre established than what Kamen Rider did. And I feel like as a result...
Definitely.
I'm not going to say that Sentai doesn't have its outliers, because it certainly does. There are times where Sentai takes chances. There are times where Sentai does stuff that is different. But also, going into a Sentai, you generally have a pretty good idea as to what you're gonna expect. There might be some specific story-to-story beats that don't translate, but the basic principles are still laid out, and they're still, it's okay. I can expect there's going to be X number of people, and we'll get X number of power-ups, and this is going to happen, and that's going to happen, and it's kind of cool to look at Kamen Rider in comparison and say, like, sure there are a couple of, like, like I said, genre trope kind of ground rules that it still makes use of, but beyond that, it's really kind of up in the air as to what is gonna happen. I think great case in point is I've been watching the most recent Kamen Rider, the one that's the one that is like actively airing in Japan right now, Revice, and we're at a point where we have introduced, for all intents and purposes, we have introduced 4 Kamen Riders at least, and I don't even know if that's going to be it, is the thing. I don't know if we're going to gain Kamen Riders. I don't know if we're going to lose Kamen Riders. We could have like 10 by the time we're done. I don't know. And it's cool that I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that they've hinted at in this show that I don't know, and it's super neat that I can't like predict how this show is going to go, because I can't rely on like, oh well, I've watched Kamen Rider, so they're probably going to do this, that, and the other like they did in the last series. Well, they're doing nothing is the same. Literally nothing about this is the same compared to even the series that came out right before it, let alone 2 series ago, 3 series ago, 4 series ago. And so it's cool to see that, like, the very kind of DIY kind of let's just try something and see if it works sort of nature that I think came out of necessity from trying to make Ichigo seems to have still translated into Kamen Rider being a series that is willing to take risks here in its modern iterations, where they could very easily just kind of trust the process, follow the formula, churn out a Zelda game and collect your check, as it were, sort of thing. But instead they're like, fuck it, what can we do that's different? What can we do that's unique? What can we do that's new? What's something that we haven't touched on with a character that we can really touch on with this one? One thing that I actually commented on when I just recently watched the most recent episode of the current season, because I just thought it was really cool, because we've literally never had another Kamen Rider like this. This particular Kamen Rider has family as like a super core central theme to like the show. And so as a result, our main protagonists, our main Kamen Riders, like their whole family. You've seen their parents, you've seen both of their siblings. And there are some Kamen Riders where like you never meet a single other member of their family. You never see anyone they're related to. You might not even talk to anyone who is a part of their past. So just the very notion of like, hey, we know everyone, everyone that this dude is immediately related to, is such a far cry from what Kamen Rider usually does. And stuff like that is just, it's cool to see them still pull out something new when they want to tell a specific type of a story. And it is neat that 50 years in they are still pulling out stuff that's new.
I look forward to getting to it one day.
Same here. I really do hope that for better or for worse,
in about a year.
Well,
I hope that we get to
perhaps.
get a lot of Kamen Rider done with this show, if for no reason other than just the reason I started this podcast is because I like Kamen Rider. I want to show Kamen Rider to people.
Yeah. Going back to what Shake said a while ago, I love the art evolution of it, and that's one of the reasons why I want to watch V3, but
Mhm.
I also know that it's not practical to do this for 50 years worth of content.
Yeah.
Because that would take about 50 years, given how we watch them. So I'm really curious to see what else the series has for us. For instance, Amazon, because that seems interesting. I watched like the first 5 minutes of it, and the antagonists already seem more capable than Shocker has ever been. So it's, I don't know, it'll be interesting, and I'm excited too.
Yeah, I am certainly excited to catch more Kamen Rider with everyone here. To that end, I will just segue into a little plug and say, if you're interested in watching us check more Kamen Rider and you want to have a direct say in what Kamen Rider we check out when, join our Patreon. If you are a member at, I believe it's, the $10 tier, right? Gets you the voting privileges?
Maybe?
Is it 10 or 5?
5?
It's one of those tiers. Yeah,
you'll have to check to find out.
Yeah,
Find out. One
check
of
the
those
Patreon, but
tiers.
I want to say it's the $10 tier. If you pledge at the $10 tier, then when we finally get done with Ichigo in about a year at this point,
just over
a year,
next week and another year,
and we'll be done with Ichigo.
We will be done, yeah.
So at that point, around that point, we will go ahead and put up a poll to try and decide what we are going to watch next, which Kamen Rider series we're going to watch next. And if you are pledged at that $10 tier, you can vote on that poll. You can have an active say in what we watch. And I think that's pretty neat. Also, if you join the Patreon, you get access to lots of other goodies like behind-the-scenes notes, early access to episodes, great art done by our wonderful artist friends B-Drops and Gopher. There's all sorts of cool stuff on the Patreon. Plus, if you get us up to certain dollar amounts on the Patreon, there are other goodies that can crop up, like monthly streams and extra episodes and other types of bonus content. So consider pledging if you have the money and you like what we're doing. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much to my other podcast hosts for being here, especially for 20 whole daggone episodes. It's been a hell of a ride.
Heck yeah.
1 week.
Go ahead, B.
What?
I'm sorry.
Please keep going. I'm sorry.
Oh, now I want to hear the double.
No, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna.
1 week.
Okay, so that's Brenton.
Ignore me.
But yeah, it honestly and truly and sincerely, it has been a lot of fun doing this podcast just in general, but I also can't think of a group of people I would probably have more fun doing this podcast with than you three. So thank you for joining on, and thank you for saying yes, and thank you for sticking it out for 20 whole episodes, and here's to 20 and 30 and 40 and 50 more, and hopefully we'll be doing the podcast long into the future.
Yeah. Cheers. It's been awesome.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
You okay, B? You struggling?
I mustn't. I'm sorry. It's just very late. Thank you all for this incredible common ride. There we go. There's something awful.
Hey, this isn't a forum. This is a podcast. Yeah, I'll say the line. Thank you very much for joining us, and remember, as always, if you can't believe in God and you can't believe in Buddha, you can always believe in Kamen Rider.